6 o'clock, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall to 1-6 on the season after a 31-13 loss to the New England Patriots on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. They turned the ball over twice and gave up 5 sacks on the day. Quarterback Cam Ward, 25 of 34 for passing for 255 yards and a touchdown, an interception, as well as a fumble that led to a scoop and score for the Patriots. Patriots quarterback Drake May, 21 of 23. Passing for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons left the game in the first half with a hamstring injury, and he did not return. Mike McCoy will meet with the media coming up later today. Over the weekend in college football, Tennessee fell to Alabama 37-20 in Tuscaloosa and dropped to number 17 in the AP poll. Vanderbilt with an impressive 31-24 win over LSU in Nashville. They move up to number 10 in the AP poll ahead of their matchup with number 15 Missouri in Nashville this Saturday. In Florida, they have fired head coach Billy Napier despite their win over Mississippi State on Saturday. Florida went 3-4 this season and 22-23 overall in 4 seasons under the head coach, Billy Napier. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On your home for the Titans and Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into a brand new week on 104.5 The Zone. Good morning. And welcome in to Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 615-737-1045. How you make your voice heard on a reaction Monday as the Tennessee Titans fall to the New England Patriots 31-13. Tennessee picks up its second loss of the season on the third Saturday in October. Vanderbilt inches closer to a college football playoff spot. We've got openings in the SEC. We've got other coaches on scalding hot seats. The College Football Hour, as always, is Hour 3 on a Reaction Monday in studio and live for you on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, and Will Bowling on this Monday, October the 20th. Good morning.
What up, Will?
How we doing?
Man, we're good. What up, Nashville? Not a whole lot. I tell you what, I fully recovered from this weekend. The losing in Tuscaloosa is over with because I lost on Sunday because I was sick as a dog, man. Oh, my gosh. No more halftime hot dogs for me. None of those, and I might have to go get a pillow top to travel with on the weekend because these small-town SEC hotels, beds are lumpy, and I'm pretty sure it's because my back made my head hurt because the spine is interconnected with all of that.
That'll do it.
It was massive, and I'm good now, man, and a lot of stuff from this past weekend.
Lots.
Yes.
How was the environment? How was the booth? How was your first trip to broadcast the third Saturday in October?
It was cool. It was real cool, man. The crowd, of course, for that type of rivalry was awesome. I ain't really run into too much foolishness. We were right next to the fans as far as the booth goes. You could hear them on the broadcast, like conversations being had because we were so close to the fan base. We didn't get any craziness also either. I've heard of, previous teams that have gone there and had craziness from the broadcast booth because of the fans. None of that happened.
Okay.
I did traveling through. So after the games, I have to go to the locker room area, the media area, to do a couple interviews. And in doing that, I got to go through the stadium. Well, here's the thing about old SEC stadiums. There's no real pathway for media to navigate without having to go in the crowds more times than not. So I am, Saturday night, I'm walking through the brick pathway behind the players' bench area, and I'm amongst fans because that's a get-together place now for Alabama fans on the bricks behind the sidelines.
Yep.
Nothing was too crazy. I had one guy that wanted to get tough. Like, legitimately, if I'd have turned around, it'd have probably been something. I didn't mention it to Mike and nobody, anything like that. Yeah, it was, hey, to the winner, okay, you do what you want when you pop. And he said something, but afterwards I was just like, yeah, you kind of said that with a little bit too much emphasis. If I turn around, then it's going to be problematic. So I just kept walking.
Just kept going.
In them situations right there, I'm going to probably put my AirPods in and just walk past the crowd in those type of situations. But
Yeah, some of those you got to go out amongst the people, don't you?
no, I was deep in Mississippi State. I walked through the stands to get to the locker room. With Alabama, I walked through an entire crowd, and yeah, one guy emphasized the word a little bit too much, and I was just like, "I'll be a pro here, Mom." But this is what happens in SEC play.
It does.
And it is what it is. That guy's a small brain dude, so we'll just leave it at that.
31-13, New England Patriots over the Tennessee Titans yesterday as Cam Ward showed some signs.
Yeah.
Also dropped the ball, gave up another 6 points to the defense. And, Ramon, there was legitimate optimism in the first half and especially in the first quarter. Similar script to what we've seen. The offense can't sustain a lot of success in the second half, despite the fourth quarter success it had in the last couple of games. Drake May was terrific. 21-23, including 16 in a row at one point. 222 passing yards, a 135.9 passer rating. Drake May became the third player under the age of 24 with 200-plus passing yards and a 100-plus passer rating in 6 consecutive games. He is dealing. What stood out yesterday about the way he picked apart the Titans and the way the Titans lost this one?
It seems very assertive. That's why I looked at him like when he wanted to run the football, he did. When he knew where he was going with the football, whether it was down the sideline, down the middle, or checking it down to somebody, it looks very assertive. He looked as if this was a well-oiled machine for him, too. And here's the other part about what the New England Patriots got going on. I know Stephon Diggs is a draw. Most definitely is the guy that you have to have your eyes on, too. But I'm looking at his receiving core. Kayshon Boutte is a guy that's rehashing his career, right? When you look at what he is, what is Mac Hollins? Mac Hollins is a nature guy that absolutely loves the earth and likes to walk barefoot. But I'm looking at his cast of characters that he's playing with and how he's just finding ways to make them open. But the other part of that, too, he was supported very well by a run game yesterday, too. But Drake May, he looks confident. He looks like the offense was built for him and they're surrounding him, and that there's always a plan or an exit strategy for him to be successful, if that makes sense. If the play isn't there, his ability to run is always available, it seems. And if not, there's somebody that he's at least got in his eye view of making a play for him.
Yeah.
He looked good. What was he, 2 incomplete passes yesterday on the day?
2 incompletions, and at one point he completed 16 in a row.
Yeah. He knew when to take sacks. He knew when to throw it away. Like, it was a good showing for a second-year guy. That's the second-year jump that you're looking for a dude like him, especially the other part of it, too, having a new head coach, a new system, and a diva wide receiver like Stephon Diggs. He's making it happen. That New England team offensively looks like his team.
It does, and yeah, you're right. The decisiveness is a good way to really highlight his ability to start, because no matter what he does, he knows where he's going with the football and when he's got to get it there on time. Just really accurate. I mean, a couple of throws in this game that were layered perfectly over defenders in zone. A throw to Kayshon Boutte that ended up beating a couple of Titans defenders. We'll talk about that because Kayshon threw a shot at the Titans after the game.
I missed that.
Talking about lazy cornerback play that they took advantage of on that play. So he made all the throws, and that is what you hope Cam Ward is on the pathway to being. You hope that Cam Ward this time next year is making a Drake May kind of jump. Now, I don't think anybody's going to expect 90% completion, but Drake May is the model for success in the National Football League and sustaining that from year 1 to year 2, more so than Bo Nix, more so this year than Jaden Daniels, more so this year than even Caleb Williams, who's been better. Drake May looks like the class of all of those guys so far this year. Now, he's got to keep doing it. We're still at the end of the halfway point of the NFL season for these teams, but so far so good for him. And my goodness, I mean, I think you saw what the Titans defense looks like without its best player.
Oh, my Lord.
And you saw what the Titans team looks like without its best player. I don't know how you can really evaluate this one from the Titans' perspective without starting with the injuries. And it's not making excuses. It's just the reality, Ramon, of the expectation we set for this team in July. Their pathway to being good included really good injury luck. Yeah. and a couple of guys just weren't able to get hurt if you wanted to beat good teams. Unfortunately, 3 of them were hurt yesterday, and you played a good football team. Jeffrey Simmons played 12 snaps in this game, had a hamstring injury that had forced him out of the entire football game. 1 special team snap for him in addition to that, so 13 total snaps in the game itself. Calvin Ridley wasn't even dressed with a hamstring injury himself. You finally get Tavondre Sweat back. He plays 57% of the snaps with 37 in this one. And then at the end of the game, L'Jarius Sneed gets hurt too. Plays 51% of the snaps, 33 of them. This team just can't beat itself and also have injuries. Like, their pathway to beating the New England Patriots without those 3 players playing a lot of football is really, really small. Their pathway to success.
Yeah, I think that's the rest of the year, too. You look at Jeff with a hamstring, it looks like, and if Calvin still has this, that's your 1 and 2 player right there, specifically on this team. And then you throw in the fact of when you're going to get Arden Key back. I will say this, I didn't think you saw much out of Tavondre Sweat until later in the second half, too. His ability to go and is necessary now because you're missing your captain on defense as far as the defensive line go. I was more than anything shocked from the first half to the second half. What happened? What was different offensively? And that to me was confusing, which is why when we're talking about the differences between, Drake May and his offense, how that feels, what it looked like versus, Cam's ability to make plays. So it is unique, man. But to your point again about the defensive side of stuff, I didn't think New England was going to run the football like that to start the game off.
I don't think anybody did.
It was, I thought it was bully ball. My mindset was, Vrabel was just trying to insert dominance right now, assert dominance more than anything. It was kind of hilarious. That was the game plan Josh McDaniels chose to go with.
Live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Wide open for your reaction. 615-737-1045 to Titans and Patriots. When we come back, we'll ask Ramon what happened in the second half for the Titans offense. What adjustments did New England make, and what adjustments should the Titans have made? Coming up next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. I want to tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French onion dip. And I'm here to tell you that whether your team won or lost over the weekend, we've got to be able to control what we can control during football season, and the snacks that you got. That is something that you could definitely control. It's my guilty pleasure during football season, eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies. Well, now Daisy's come out with this delicious Daisy French onion dip and a Daisy Ranch dip. These are a game changer. They're as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Make sure you try some. Go check it out. Daisy French onion dip is at a grocery store near you. Monday morning on a Bone and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 104.5 The Zone. Visit a locally owned Scooters location near you. In Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Wide open for your phone call, 615-737-1045. What went wrong as the Titans fall 31-13 to the New England Patriots? At Ramon and Will, where you can follow the show on Twitter. So, Ramon, in the first half, the Titans had some signs of progress. Cam Ward completed 11 of 16 passes for 148. Yep. He had a 38-yard touchdown throw to Chimere Dike. But when you then take away the run game and you make the Titans get in predictable passing situations, they struggled. And in the third quarter, the Titans ran 8 plays for a net -3 total yards. What went wrong? What adjustments did New England make, and what adjustments do you think the Titans should have made to sustain their first half success in the third and fourth quarters?
New England started to get more pressure. They started to put more pressure on the Titans also. That run game was a huge part of the inability of the Titans offense to look like it was going to get something going. The only reason I say that is they were able to run it and milk the clock, and where it forced the Titans offensive brass to say, all right, we got to go score, and we got to go score quick. That played a part in. I would also say penalties played a part in. When you allow also New England to get a score, 7 points before the half, that changed the entire dynamic of the game too. Defensively, you saw them somewhat get after Cam a little bit more up front to where he was off his spot, and his guys that he was running concept routes with weren't as easy to get open as it was in the first half. I felt like the first half was a big showing of what the game plan was going to be to start the game off. I just don't know if there was any adjustment to the second half as far as, okay, we're going to open up the exact same way, because more times than not, you can't. Defensively, they adjusted. They dropped back a little bit more in coverage, and they were able to get pressure on guys up front. And, of course, who can you trust to go win? That was the other part for this Tennessee Titans offenses. Who else is going to go win if you can't concept yourself open? And I felt like the first half of all things that went good for the Titans was scripted concept plays. Cam even talked about it. The one where he threw the Chimere Dike. They've been working on that play for 3 weeks. That is a concept. That is something, if we see this look, we're going to do this. And teams adjust to that defensively. Know what Mike Vrabel and his defense is going to be more times than not. And again, penalties play a part in it. Cam getting sacked play a part in it. Turnovers and just not being able to run the football played a huge part in it also. I thought the one thing that New England did that the Titans didn't do was, more than anything, they were going to forever establish a run when they needed it to. And that was either through Drake May or through the running backs. Ramondre Stevenson having a day that he did yesterday, did not see that on this defense.
Yeah, I mean, without Jeffrey Simmons, anything's possible, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And I know a lot of it wasn't just with Jeff off the field. He was having success early in this game when Jeff and Devondre Sweat were both out there, but New England came out and they set the tone.
Yeah.
On both offense and defense. It just felt like as soon as New England didn't respect the Titans' play-action pass game, there was no counterpunch from the Titans' offense.
Nope.
And you saw early, I mean, the first throw of the game for Cam Ward, play-action, boot, roll out left, gunner helm, wide open, flat route, first down. 7 of Cam Ward's first 10 completions in this game were to rookies.
Yep.
I thought was also very telling. Clearly getting Chimere Dike a bigger part in the offensive game plan without Calvin Ridley available. That was a key for Bo Hardegree, for Mike McCoy and the Titans offensive staff. For all the talk, Ramon, about simplification and making things easier and players, not plays, did you feel like the Titans did a good enough job setting Cam Ward up for success in this game from a play calling and game plan perspective? Because we'll get to the offensive line in a minute.
The first part of it, I thought so. Yeah. You saw them try to roll with a pace, get in and out of the huddle as quick as they possibly could. You saw Cam throw outside more, go down the field. It was more of the roll out that he was doing in the first part of the season. But first part of the game. But here's the issue with that, though, too. At some point, you got to get to where the offense become methodical. And what I mean by that is, are you just simply handing the football off? Can you also just simply drop back and throw the football and guys run their routes and win? Or is it always going to be scheming left to right and you can't do much if the defensive and the Patriots defense sit in zone, don't go outside of the areas, and you're also being chased. There wasn't a point in the game I felt like where this offense just simply made dropbacks and Cam stayed in the pocket and delivered the football. It was also always on the move, and that's the part of the game to me where he puts himself in harm's way is the rollouts become problematic. We see when he's attempting to roll and the ball floats on him, or the ball is underthrown.
Or falls out of his hand for a fumble touchdown.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that becomes problematic because teams are going to sit back and say, hey, he's going to show us where he's going every single time with his eyes or wherever he's going to roll to. You got us earlier with the Chimere DK throwback to the other side of the field. They can't happen again. That was one of those situations where, like I said, I go to Zaire Franklin's comments a few weeks back when he threw his first touchdown. It's like, do that again. Like, you only get one of those a game. And if you can't sit back and be protected also from your offensive line and running backs and tight ends and just pick defenses apart, or as we saw Drake May do, and I hate to continually use him in this situation, but he dropped back guys off in coverage and he'd run the football. Like, those are the things you need when we're looking at what are the concepts or what you want this offense to look like. I even say going through the first 7 games of this season, 8 games of the season, I still don't know what the baseline just standard for this offense is. And that's not okay.
Don't know what they're good at.
No, at all. It's scheming up plays is what it is. You can't just continually draw plays in the dirt.
Well, and I think, too, New England's advantage and quality over the Titans on offense isn't just on Drake May either. Because Ramondre Stevenson made a one-handed catch on 4th and 1 in the red zone to set up New England for 6. Austin Hooper made an incredible grab in the back of the end zone to score a touchdown in this game. Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte both had contested catches right over defenders along the sideline. I mean, when you go 21 of 23, it means your wide receivers have made some pretty difficult grabs as well. Mm-hmm. And without Calvin Ridley and a very unproven cast of characters around Cam Ward, this is what you get. I just don't think you can tell the story of this game and look at the differences between the Titans and Patriots without starting with the injuries. That, to me, is the story of this game. An overmatched Tennessee Titans team had to play a football to beat a team that is better than them in all 3 phases, maybe 2 phases, offense and defense, considering the injuries they had, and they didn't bring their A game. So that's the reality of where this team is. Either they've got to get healthier and get more contributions from their best players and from their most highly paid players, or they just can't really make any mistakes. And right now, with as young as this football team is, how can you expect them to come into a game and just make no mistakes?
No doubt about it. You know, another part is, too, that just being bad doesn't, like, give you grace. When you talk about guys making plays, we're talking about Mac Hollins down the sideline, Ramondre Stevenson. Like, we're talking about all
nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody's coming to save you. We're looking at Austin Hooper yesterday make a catch in the end zone that I think could have easily been an overthrow, could have been a drop, but he comes down with the football. The other part of this, and I think the Titans did try to take advantage and expose it for a little while too, was the Patriots have a young offensive line left side. You got Will Campbell at left tackle. You have also the Georgia draft pick, Jarrett Wilson, at left. You got 2 rookies on the left side, but you know why it was ineffective? Because you still had success as a team. Those dudes right there, that entire left side, if it stays the same, will have the ability to develop. And they're hidden because they're winning right now. Their deficiencies are hidden because they're winning.
Out quick.
Ball gets out quick.
Or the quarterback's just running it, avoiding pressure.
Bad situations. But you know what that does to a group that's trying to develop and get better through the youth too? It allows you to say, I got more grace and time to get better. That's the one thing I feel like the Titans hadn't had in the last few years. Is all of the young talent that you've had doesn't get the time and respect of other teams get when it comes down to development, because there's not enough good here that's happening that allows you to say, yeah, we'll grow through that. Like, I mean, what's his name? Jarrett Wilson got worked yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, probably gave up 2 sacks on the left side of that Patriots offensive line. But you know what? It don't matter because they won by double-digit points. They won by 18 points yesterday.
Well, and it doesn't feel like it because negative plays don't totally torpedo an entire drive.
Yeah.
because you have explosive playability. I mean, the New England Patriots still punted 4 times.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, ending a drive with a kick, even if it's that kind of kick, also isn't the worst thing because you're not turning the ball over, you're not fumbling, you're not throwing picks. They didn't make any critical errors, the New England Patriots on offense. And with the way their defense plays, that's going to be enough for them in a lot of football games.
It is.
Did you think the Titans could have done anything differently from a play calling perspective or schematically in the second half to make things easier again on Cam Ward? Is there any control that Mike McCoy and Bo Hardigree could have had in the second half, or was this just an example of your opponent was better?
Your opponent was better. And the other part of it, as far as you talking about making it easier for Cam, the other part of this thing is Cam got to make it easier on himself.
Well, and it makes it easier on the defense too, doesn't it?
It does.
When the scheme is simplified so much.
It is. Like, we can just play base, or at that point, we can say our guys are better than your guys, and we're just going to go beat you. Like, that's what happens when we're talking about Chason getting 2 sacks on a day. He's better than your left tackle. We're looking at Harold Landry towards the latter part of the game get a sack simply because he worked your right guard, right tackle. Like, your dudes are getting beat. Your guys have no chance of doing anything when you simplify it that much. Or if I'm getting enough penetration on you, I can see everything unfold in front of me. If there's leakage, I see the running back rolling out to the left, and bam, there's the screen, and I'm shutting it down. And then, you know what? The quarterback drops the football out of his hand for a score. Like, it's so they're bad. Just simply put.
I mean, honestly, Ramon, football can be pretty simple. Can you win one-on-one matchups? The Titans can't right now. You want to chalk that up to injuries, inexperience, to interim head coach? Like, you can chalk it up to whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's just that simple. The Titans are not winning one-on-ones. All you have to do defensively on third down, Ramon, against the Tennessee Titans right now is play cover 0 and walk everyone up to the line. I'm serious. Yeah. And teams, I don't know why they don't do it on every single third down. Yeah. Get in nickel, walk up your 2 linebackers over each shoulder of the center, play press man coverage, and force Cam Ward to get the ball out quickly, because one of 2 things is going to happen. Either a receiver is going to get separation, but Cam isn't going to throw it on time because he's trying to do too much and get out of the pocket and throw the deep ball because he knows, if I can just lengthen the play just for a half second, I could throw it over their heads and we can get it explosive. Or no one's going to get separation. Cam is going to look for help, and by the time he's found it, he's getting sacked.
It's too late.
One of 2 things have got to happen. And Ramon, we have been saying this for years. Either they've got to block longer to let receivers get more separation and have more time to get open, or someone's just got to get immediately open. That way, it doesn't matter how long those linemen need to block. You're just getting it out. Oh, there's Alec. Oh, Jim's already got his guy. Go. Here, go deep. Alec's down there somewhere. And even when there is a little bit of separation, Ramon, Cam Ward is not always accurate. So, again, we're looking at really 3 reasons why you just play cover 0 against the Titans right now, and it works. And again, football can be that simple. Yeah. Can you win one-on-one matchups in a hurry to protect your quarterback? That's not on Mike McCoy. That's not on Bo Hardigree. It's definitely not on Brian Callahan. They are lacking, without Calvin Ridley, receivers who can get immediate separations off the line. It is truly just that simple right now. And until they have a fix for it, Ramon, teams are just going to keep doing it.
Well, here's the thing. They're just not in a spot to where you expect that to happen. And the other part of it is, too, Will, defenses and coaching staffs on the other side don't expect that to happen either. I'm looking at the situation right now. 6:45 in the third quarter. It's third quarter, 6:45 left in the third. 2nd and 4. Cam throws a check down, I think, to Chig. Will, it's 3rd and 1. You know what they did? They ended up going almost a bare front. They had 2 D tackles over the right side, one on the A gap in front of Zeitler, one in the B gap against J.C. Latham. So they're going to force the Titans to squeeze. Come down because you blocked the bigs first. And that's exactly what they did. I'm not guessing on this one. But it's 3rd and 1, Will. They elect to throw the football.
Tight end screen.
No, it was over the middle. Oh, it was over the middle. Yes, it was supposed to be the tight end screen.
Yeah.
You know what happened on this particular play?
What's that?
J.C. Latham gets beat in the B gap by number 97 from the team for a sack on Cam. So you had 3rd and 1, and now you're about to punt, and it's going 4th and 10.
You shouldn't be sacked on short yardage situations.
And this wasn't a scheme situation.
No,
he just rushed in the B gap. J.C. couldn't stop him. If the hip is messed up, you got to sit out. But if you're just simply getting beat by NFL defensive end that bad, we got to talk about the development. We got to figure out if you are healthy. It's so many questions that have to be answered because this type of stuff right here, this is child's play. Like this is child's play. Everybody know if you got somebody in the B gap, if on the right side your left foot is posted and you're not supposed to drop your hip right there at all. That is a can of corners. A Coach Munchak used to call that. Getting beat like that, that's unacceptable.
That was the one play call in the second half that I did not like. Was the tight end screen on 3rd and 1.
So go back to our final question. What is the scheme of the offense? Yeah. What is the bread and butter?
Right. Let's go to the phones, shall we? 615-737-1045. Ron is in Hendersonville up first. Hey, Ron.
Morning, Ron.
How y'all guys doing? Me, I don't want to start off real negative, but I guess I am.
Go ahead.
I don't think Cam Ward is going to be our quarterback going into the new stadium. It's just some things that he does that it's his footwork and his accuracy. I don't think that they're going to be able to coach that out of him. I think he is who he is. It's just, I look and compare other, quarterbacks that have come in and as rookie year. And it's just certain things that I don't think it's going to be problematic, especially with the footwork. Because I notice he gets off his back foot. And it messes with his accuracy, and it's just, I don't know. I don't think he's going to. I think we're going to be looking for another quarterback come 27, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Ron.
Appreciate it, Ron.
Ramon, do you agree with that?
I'll put it this way. Now, I see somebody in our YouTube chat. You can check us out there too. YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Also, I messed up. And Twitter. Here's what I would say about that. Bad teams make good players look bad too. It makes you question them. The bad play. I've seen coaches get players fired. I've seen coaches have a situation where players get worse underneath them. So if there's much more losing, not enough positivity, absolutely, Will. That's on the table. And it's early to say, but the offense has to change. And I do agree with Ron a little bit on what he's saying. Cam's feet, the way he drops the ball when he throws, I'm not talking about the fumbles. I'm talking about his launch angle. That can be problematic. The teams that have forced Cam to drop the ball out of his hands or the fumbles that come along with his play, they're just swiping the ball low at his hands. I'm not sure what he's going to have to do in the offense, but it seems to me, to Ron's point, because Coach Mike McCoy is mentioning footwork. At some point, that has to change. Now, we don't have that answer now because he got to go through an offseason of trying to correct that if he wants to. But I do think that's a part of his oversells, his body mechanics. I ain't ever played football, quarterback. But that seems to be a part of play of what he's got going on right now. If you don't win, questions about the quarterback is going to happen. We've seen this history before with Cleveland.
Ron, it is far too early, in my opinion, to make that statement. It is just way too early to say that Cam Ward is not going to be the future quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. And we are going to talk more about this throughout the show and especially coming up in about a half hour, or a little over a half hour at 7:20. We have got to take a deep breath on Cam. We just do. This was not the game, honestly, to have that opinion about either, because Cam Ward had career best quarterback rating, yards per attempt, and completion percentage yesterday. Now, some of that is a little bit of fool's gold based on how many checkdowns he had late in the game. However, he still gets credit for checking the ball down because we've been very critical of him not doing that.
That was pointed out.
So I'm not going to play the game of, but a lot of it was checkdowns to the running back. Good. It's part of being an NFL quarterback. Check it down to the running back when you got it. I think, and I know Buck Rising got some of you guys probably going on that because he likes to light the torches in moments like this when he feels like he has the opportunity to get you to react. And Buck is playing the game, even though Buck very much wanted Cam Ward. He's going to gaslight you into thinking he wanted to trade now on Twitter. But don't fall for that. Like, honestly, I know there's kind of nothing else to talk about that's new with this team other than interim head coach, and that's an easy way for me to get you guys to react. I'm not taking the bait on the Cam Ward is a bust thing or the Cam Ward. Like, we've got to be a lot more patient about Cam Ward than that, in my opinion, because this was not the game to come out of and say, oh, Cam's a problem. Look who he's throwing to. And that's no disrespect to Chimere Dike, Elikai Manor, Tyler Lockett, and Van Jefferson, but they are missing their one. And all of those guys were cast this season and put in a position to be complementary pieces to Calvin Ridley as the number one wide receiver of this football team. And when he is not out there, it is putting all of those guys in a very difficult position against a good defense. I just think that Cam kind of met my expectations yesterday on what I thought it was going to look like, and we've got to have a little bit more patience than that.
Issue is, do you trust him, but do you trust the team to do it right?
615-737-1045, our number, your phone calls, rapid fire, starting with Mike, coming up next.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Ramona Will at 104.5. The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee. 615-737-1045 with loaded phone lines. Ron in Hendersonville called in before the break and said Cam Ward is not the future. Not going to be the quarterback going into the new stadium. We're going to talk a lot about that this morning because I know many of you have that take. We're going to retweet this right now, Ramon. At Ramon and Will. Follow the show there on Twitter. We sent out a poll last night that I wanted you guys to start to react to that we will reset now. It says, your faith in Cam Ward as the future of the Tennessee Titans has blank since game one. Grown, decreased, or stayed the same? Go vote on that there at Ramon and Will on Twitter. We'll get to some of those reactions and results coming up to begin our number 2. But we will go to the phones where Mike is in Nashville. First up. Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing today?
We are excellent.
Yeah, me too, man. Guys, we got to calm down. We got to calm down. I was at the stadium yesterday. A lot of things y'all pointed out, receivers just can't get open. So we got to calm down. It's okay. I sat around a lot of Patriot fans, and one thing they said was, y'all are now us, before Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And one thing they said was Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. That's a quarterback, and that's a coach. We got the quarterback. We need the coach. It's going to be some dog days ahead of us, but you got to have faith. So I'm coming from a positive point of view here. You just got to have faith and trust the ownership, even though we don't trust them right now, to get it right. One thing I know we need in the draft is a receiver. I don't want to see them get a lineman. Let's get the best receiver in the draft. That is what he needs right now more than anything. Calvin Ridley's 10 times out of 10 going to be gone. Yeah. So he needs that receiver, but just calm down. Footwork, mechanics, all that stuff can be fixed. Calm down, Nashville. We're going to be okay.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the call.
Appreciate it.
I agree.
Calm down. But it's, as Mike alluded to, though, trusting what's been here for years and years and years, it's just not going to be there, I don't think. There's going to be a lot more of this. The questions of if Cam has it, can this franchise and the players they choose to surround him with get it out of him?
I think the other challenge is that Cam Ward was not a ready-made prospect. He is a developmental prospect.
That's true.
Based off of his experience, based off of the offenses that he has run in high school and college, Cam Ward was a wing T quarterback when Ryan Tannehill was here in high school in West Columbia, Texas. This was never going to be the type of projectable, pro-style, plug-and-play, you're immediately the best version of yourself kind of prospect. We always knew this was going to take time with Cam. Just because it stinks right now and it's hard to watch doesn't mean you abandon ship on what the preseason expectations were. November was a month for growth. Get him an offensive line, which we thought he had, that Ramon has not met expectations. And Calvin Ridley is hurt. I genuinely just don't know what people expected yesterday. Because over 70% completion, over 90 QB rating, and 250 yards for Cam Ward yesterday, considering he didn't have Calvin Ridley and he got sacked 5 times, I'll take it. I thought yesterday was a step in the right direction for Cam Ward.
I thought it was too, but the issue that you're running into constantly is the outfit, the makeup of it. Like, the strength of this team is low. Like, every position except for Jeff, and Jeff's out right now, is low at this point. There's not a whole lot of optimism and trusting that. So what is it, 2-3 years from now that you want to see these answers be had? Now, this in the last 5 years, the Titans have spent heavy in free agency. They have drafted high in the draft, and it's netted you to be 1-6 right now. Still, that's the portion of it. Is just like, and I know Mike Borgonzi is going to play a role in this thing, but legitimately, if that's the case, 2-3 years from now, because you don't have the players in the building that you feel confident is going to help make him be better.
Let's go to Eric in Nashville up next. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys, first of all, I want to say I was sitting around a bunch of Patriots fans, too. We got into a discussion about hot chicken, and I told them the story behind Princess, how that got started. They got a big kick out of that. So, guys, but a couple of things. First of all, right before the half, guys, I was real surprised that we didn't try to get a field goal. I was hearing the coach saying the postgame show apparently he had issues with the wind or whatever. I don't know if I buy that. Now, I will say this. The wind early in the game blew off my hat, but luckily I got it back. But I thought with the timeouts we might have tried to get a field goal. But the whole thing on Cam, RELAX, guys, you are 1,000% right. This is ridiculous. Not only was I hearing stuff like being the bus, there were other people saying we should be traded. That's why I said go around the chat. But here's the thing that got me going. I was speechless when I heard this, and then later on, I'm just laughing. There were even people saying that he was worse than Will Levis. Are you kidding me? That's my reaction to that, guys. Come on now. I mean, but on the post-game show, they were saying that now, unfortunately, Cam's now becoming the whipping boy since Brian Callahan's gone. Everybody wants to now jump on him. Guys, y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, the end of the first half, I know they weren't super aggressive. I thought the wind was a major factor within that. And considering some of the mistakes the Titans have made in the second quarter to give teams short fields, I mean, you got to earn the right to be able to be aggressive, and this quarterback hasn't right now, the way he's playing right now. We did get a tweet from Matt, who wrote us at Ramona Willis, said, the issue I have is not necessarily Cam, but it feels like at this point everyone was calling Levis a bust. There was no, quote, patience. No, at this point, we were not calling Will Levis a bust because he was also 7 games into his NFL career.
It was wait and see. I will say that more.
Will Levis was last year when we started to call him a bust. And also, let's not forget, Will Levis at the beginning of last year still had DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley to throw to. Cam Ward yesterday had neither.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pump the brakes on that because, first of all, number 1 overall picks get more time because they are better prospects overall. And Will Levis was not that. He was a second-round pick that you do not give that amount of time when he stinks bad enough to get you a legitimate number 1 overall pick quarterback. And secondly, this is not year 2 for Cam Ward. This is year 1. And I don't care that Will Levis sat at the beginning of his rookie year. That was year 2, not year 1 for him last year.
So what should that, we'll talk about it more, but should that have been the pathway for Cam this year? Get a vet to play in front of him for a little while.
Oh, they got Tyler Lockett?
No, I'm talking about quarterback.
Oh. I still don't think so.
Okay.
I still don't think so. What do you think?
Looking at how it's come for him, as far as his ability to make plays, yeah, I feel like you should watch just a little bit, but it wasn't the case here. You got rid of Will Levis, basically, and the guys you brought in was a support system.
I mean, if we
just
would
wasn't
have
a part of the plan.
If we would have known that this offensive line would look like this year, maybe, but there was no way to have a crystal ball and know that your offensive line was still not going to make the steps and the improvements that you expected them to make to set up Cam for success. That's kind of where I'm at with it. This offensive line on paper is better than what it has shown this year. Through injuries, through some quarterback play that's held the ball too long, through lack of separation, however you want to spin it, the result is what it is. The Titans' offensive line has not met expectations.
No, not even close.
Let's talk about that coming up. 615-737-1045. You've pointed out some things from Titans tackle J.C. Latham, who made a second straight start yesterday and struggled. Mm-hmm. What is he struggling with, and how concerned are you with his development now nearing the halfway point of year 2 of his NFL career? That's next.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. It's this Friday and Saturday. Genesis is hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches: Submariners, Daytona, Sky Dwellers, Pepsis, Batmans, men's and lady watches. All right, at this event, you can even get a never-worn fresh model that people wait years for. During this event, you can take advantage of the special pricing and up to 60 months zero-interest financing. And listen to this. With the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, Genesis will give you a pair of 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings of the highest quality, absolutely free. And if you're already a Rolex owner, Bring the old Rolex to trade or meet one of Genesis buyers on site to receive top dollar for your Rolex. See the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state, and also take advantage of the special financing or get a pair of beautiful 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings valued at $5,000 absolutely free. It's this Friday and Saturday only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details while supplies last.
.702, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall to 1-6 on the year after a 31-13 loss to the New England Patriots at Nissan Stadium Sunday. They turned the ball over twice and gave up 5 sacks on the day. Quarterback Cam Ward, 25-34 for 255 yards, a touchdown, interception, and a fumble that led to a scoop and score for the Patriots. Patriots quarterback Drake May, 21-23 for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons left the game early in the first half with a hamstring injury, and he did not return. Head coach Mike McCoy will meet with the media coming up later today. Over the weekend in college football, Tennessee falls to Alabama 37-20 in Tuscaloosa and dropped to number 17 in the AP poll. Vanderbilt with an impressive 31-24 win over LSU in Nashville on Saturday. They move up to number 10 in the AP poll ahead of their matchup with number 15 Missouri in Nashville on Saturday. And Florida, they have fired head coach Billy Napier despite their win over Mississippi State this weekend. Florida went 3-4 this season and 22-23 overall in the 4 seasons with Napier as head coach. For all your foundation repair and waterproof needs, you've got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 2 of this Monday morning starts right now. Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. College football hour at 8:20 as always. Your phone calls all morning. As on Mondays, you are our only guests in the fall. 615-737-1045. Justin Hawkins at the controls. Ramon Foster back from Tuscaloosa. Myself, Will Bowling, on Twitter at Ramon and Will, where you can stream the show as well. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, all places where you watch our faces for radio break down the football weekend. So, many of you have thoughts on Cam Ward. We have a Twitter poll, and we're going to talk about it. Talk about progress, talk about expectations, talk about concerns versus confidence. In your quarterback one. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll dive deeper into that. But, Ramon, yesterday, the Titans' offensive line gave up 5 more sacks. J.C. Latham seemed to be a part of a lot of what was not going right for the offensive line. How big of a worry is his development, Ramon? Now, 2 starts in a row. I know this is year 2, and you are confident and you are consistent in that year 3 is when you see a jump on the offensive line. How worried are you about J.C. Latham right now?
At this point, if I can say this, if he goes out there, I can assume he's healthy. You okay with that?
Yeah.
If he goes out there, then I assume we're going to get the best version of him, correct? Inexcusable. If he can't come to me, man, I was hurt.
He is being judged for his play on the field when he is on the field.
I'm going to just say it then. Well, it's bad. I feel like the prospect that he was projected to be, we're not seeing that guy, not even a little bit. I think if we look back at what last year was for him, too, as far as him hitting that wall after the Houston game and just taking a nosedive, and he admitted that. Everybody saw him do that. Okay, you tell us at the beginning of the season that you're going to go over to the right side and we're going to get the best version of you. I know he got hurt, so he's out for a little while, and we're not getting that. But you also have come back right now. And I'm assuming that you are as healthy as you should be or capable enough to be out there. And right now I'm watching him get beat inside. I'm watching him get beat outside. The strong man that he is shows up from time to time. I saw when they played against the Vegas Raiders, he absolutely locked Max Crosby up 1 or 2 times. Max Crosby also still ended the game with 2 sacks. His inability to be good in space and go toe-for-toe with the speed guys hasn't shown. Their inability as a group to run the football is very problematic for as big and as strong as they are and as athletic as they are too. This version of what they are right now, we didn't see in training camp at all. We're talking about a team yesterday that had 12 rushes, 1 with a wide receiver reverse for 39 yards. Also giving up 5 sacks. That doesn't help. You mean to tell me the New England Patriots came in here as a non-rushing team and they ran for 175 yards? At some point, we talked about this group specifically, and I was talking mainly about the right side, was supposed to be your roll graders.
Yeah.
And right now they're getting rolled over time and time again. You got so much experience right there with Kevin Zeitler, and you got so much athleticism right there with J.C. Latham. And for the life of me, he hasn't called his bearings. The understanding. the understanding of how to move guys forward just isn't there too. His location with his hands seems to be a little bit off, and when he gets hit, he goes back further than I thought he would for a guy like him. Meaning when he's pass setting, he's continually working his feet back. He's never planted into the ground. Year 2 disappointment could be attached to him because, again, he's out there. If he tells me he's hurt, well, don't go out there. Don't go out there if you're hurt. And I know is hey, I'm doing my all for the team. And offensive linemen are supposed to be very selfless human beings when we play this game. But if you tell me if there's a defensive end in the B gap and you have a slide pro inside, meaning JC's a right tackle, there's somebody on his left shoulder inside of him. And that's your responsibility. The issue that I have with him, he stepped forward, which is wrong. The guy ended up rushing on that inside shoulder of his and simply just beating him. This was you running through your little brother is what it looked like, and he gave up a sack. That's problematic for him for a guy as strong as he is. And we've heard about the 650-pound squats and everything else that comes along with that. He's taking a step backwards.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it since I've seen a couple people ask it in the F&M Big Chat on the 1045 The Zone YouTube channel. Is right tackle his best position?
Left tackle wasn't, and right tackle doesn't seem to be the case either. If you're asking me, should he move to guard?
We're going to play this game again, like we did with Peter Skoronski, just in reverse.
Here's the problem: he was drafted that high. Yeah. Guards don't go that high, except for Quentin Nelson. It's hard to justify
even Peter
that.
Skoronski didn't go that high.
He didn't go that high.
Skoronski was 11th.
Mekhi Becton didn't go that high. He moved into guard. Now, the issue that you have is going to find another right tackle. Is that Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon? So, damn, Will. Is he a guard? He's moving like one right now.
He's not this year. Well, let's start there. I don't think in 2025 you're going to move J.C. Latham to right guard because you just moved J.C. Latham to right tackle, and he's made 3 starts, 2 of them fully healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if he's fully healthy. I'm not going to make that assumption. I'm saying 2 of them he's played full games. At the end of the day, he's still played 2 football games at his new position. It's not time yet to move him. It's just not.
For this team, no, it's not.
Not right now.
You don't have.
If you're going to do that, you do it in the offseason. But again, I don't even think that's enough time for him to learn his now again new position. Sometimes you have to go through the growing pains of after you make the position swap move, you got to kind of stick with it and just stomach it and understand that it's going to take time again.
I didn't think we would ever have this conversation.
No, we shouldn't be.
But somebody asked a question, are we going to Mekhi Becton him? It seems going to be the best case scenario for him for his success. Because
the way things are going right now, yeah.
His footwork isn't there. You have to be one of those athletic types as quick as these guys are. We saw an older guy in Harold Landry yesterday dip and rip underneath him for a sack, a clean one at that.
It's concerning. It is. It is
very concerning.
It is concerning the lack of progression because
Will.
That is someone that I thought had legitimate optimism and expectations of major growth. The kind of growth we're seeing from Peter Skoronski from year 2 to year 3. And I know this is not year 3 for JC. And in a lot of ways, it's year 1 at right tackle. But there were a couple cards we kind of played with JC, Ramon, that you can't play again. The body transformation and weight change card has been played.
Check that box.
And things don't look very different. And the position change, this is your more natural spot card has been played. And it looks pretty similar to what it did at left tackle last year.
Sure
now,
does.
you are consistent that year 3 is where you expect major growth for offensive linemen. But in order to earn the ability to get a year 3, you've got to show a little bit more progress in year 2 that, unfortunately, so far this season, J.C. Latham has not shown.
And that's the biggest problem. So you remember when we talked about with Jarrett Wilson, the left guard for the Patriots, who's a true rookie, and also Will Campbell, both. They're giving grace to mess up because they're as good that they're actually doing. They got a quarterback that is helping them. They got a run game that they found yesterday that allowed them to also have some grace. They still gave up 4 sacks as a group. There was a lot of pressure that the Titans defensive line was able to get after them, but that same pressure that the Titans O-line is getting is way more negative.
Juice on Twitter writes in, at Ramon and Will says, when he got drafted, Ramon said he was a guard to begin with. Good call. You did.
I did.
You did say that. You said he's a right tackle or a guard.
Listen, this is another one of those dominoes that falls, that sets you back. Like, this is a 400-pound man falling back on a 100-pound homeboy, just like, hey, yeah, trust. There's a trust fall.
That's right.
This is another trust fall moment that's not going to be very trustworthy.
Well, because, again, this is the tricky thing about offensive line development and now what it means for Cam Ward. Because what's best for J.C. Latham and a quote-unquote fair shot for him doesn't do anything for your quarterback, does it?
Nothing.
Because if you say, all right, let's play the hypothetical game that I don't love doing all the time, but let's just say for right now, this is who J.C. Latham is in 2025. In 2026, where you drafted JC, the experience that he's had, and now the fact that his offensive line guru coach that is no longer here, not being here, all of those signs should point to him getting a third year and a prove-it year in year 3 to play the same position, still be at right tackle, try to improve and earn another contract, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not what's best for Cam Ward, because Cam Ward is struggling without a stable pocket. So again, you have this mixture of priorities, right? What's best for the supporting cast is at the hindrance of your quarterback, and what's best for your team is for your quarterback to start to get better, which means you got to give him a better supporting cast. See how that's not fair to J.C. Latham? That's not fair to Cam Ward. However you spin it, this team has got to make some really difficult decisions. They're just going to have to stomach and understand that not everyone gets graded on the same curve in order to set up Cam Ward for success moving forward. And that way, when the new building opens, it's Cam Ward on the billboards, it's Cam Ward on the side of the stadium, and you feel like you've got a franchise QB for new Nissan Stadium.
You know what's crazy, too, about JC's situation? It's going to be hard to fight him to go into the interior offensive line, if that is the case, because the team isn't good enough. You're going to have another remake of this offensive line next year, and he's never played it a day in his life, which is fine. It's easier for the Philadelphia Eagles to get Mekhi Becton at the time to play guard because they were winning. Hey, I promise you. And you had a coach in Sirianni that convinced them, like, hey, this is the best for you and for us.
Well, and two, that was the better financial option for Mekhi Becton because he was never going to get a second contracted tackle, but he could maybe get a big extension at guard. J.C. Latham is still early enough in his career where he's going to go to the front office and say, like, why are you taking away my ability to earn money? Because that extension at tackle is significantly more than what that extension at guard is, which is kind of unfair to guards, but it is a more premium position. And I know, like, guys don't want to move inside because it hurts their ceiling of what they could make. Mm-hmm. Until there is no way you are ever going to succeed at tackle, guys don't want to make that move.
You can't move them yet. Let's just go there.
You can't.
And the team isn't good enough yet to move him inside.
J.C. Latham is not going to be a guard for the Tennessee Titans in 2025, barring something shocking.
But his progress is concerning. He's getting beat.
I think it's fair.
Now.
I think those are all fair comments. We'll start with Mike in Nashville coming up next, 615-737-1045. Some open phone lines if you want to get in and react. We ran a poll last night. Has your faith in Cam Ward changed? We got some really interesting answers to this at Ramona Will, where you can chime in. Would love to hear your thoughts. Do you have more, less, or the same amount of confidence in Cam Ward as you did when the season started? We'll dive into that next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the number one sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins. Paid in bonus bets. You can take an automatic winner. You can take something with great odds and just $5, $300 if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEZONE, THEZONE. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. 21 plus, Tennessee only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Hey, it's Will Bolding. Is your home's heating system ready for the cold weather of winter? Well, available 24/7, Lee Company is here to help. This was the morning, wasn't it? If you're up and early this morning, up and at 'em, you knew that when you looked at the temperature outside, when you woke up, maybe you're walking the dog, you're going out to get the newspaper, 44 degrees. I saw this morning. I was glad my heating system was ready because with the turn of the season officially here, Lee Company's professional team of technicians, they are in the market. They're ready. They're performing heating tune-ups and seasonal maintenance to keep your home running efficiently this fall and winter. Contact Lee Company's award-winning team online at leecompany.com. Keep your home cozy for all the cold months ahead. I've been talking about this for a few weeks. Lee Company doing maintenance on your heating system. Maybe you haven't listened, and maybe now you are ready because your heating system wasn't ready for the cold weather that happened overnight. Head online, leecompany.com for all your heating needs, or call them at 615-567-1000. That's Lee Company, all you need. Hour 2 on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. 615-737-1045, the number. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins on Twitter at Ramon and Will, at Ramon Foster, at Will_Bowling. Does yesterday's game give you hope that Cam Ward is rounding a corner? And has your opinion and faith on him changed since the beginning of the season? Let's go first to the phones because Mike in Nashville has been waiting patiently to chime in on Cam this morning. What's up, Mike?
Hey, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
We're good. Good morning.
Great. Love listening to you guys and love y'all's takes.
Thank you.
But I do have one thing that whenever I hear, I kind of cringe a little bit. And it's that no matter if we're talking about Callahan or Cam or even J.C. Latham or whoever, we're talking about waiting it out and waiting to see. And something inherently just cringes in me when I hear that. And I was trying to think over the past couple of weeks what it is. And when I went to the University of Tennessee, we went to Glocker, showing my age, not Haslam Business School. One of the main principles they used to teach us up there in the business school is the 70% rule. And the business principle of the 70% rule is a 70% fast decision is better than a perfect slow decision. And Jeff Bezos has adopted this rule a lot, which, suggests that acting with the 70% of information you'd ideally want is the core idea that delaying a decision to gather the very last piece of data can cause you to miss opportunities, lead you to a decline instead of making good enough timely actions. And so people that are billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Miss Amy should have really good people around them that have done the jobs for years, that have good intuition, that have good gut feelings and all that stuff. So the last thing I want to do is wait till the very end of year 3 to decide if Cam Ward is what we want. If I've looked at it, and I'm not one of these people that Miss Amy's hired that knows a lot about football, but do we feel like we have the 70% of information on Cam? I know I don't feel good. I know if you had to put it back to the beginning of the year and told me to bet my money, I would bet he's not going to make it. I mean, so I'm.
You weren't on board, Mike? I just have to add, you weren't on board with drafting Cam? I'm just curious.
No, Ramon, literally I was almost just like you where I wanted to trade it, and Will. I wanted to trade it up until the day that you knew. Up until about 2 days before draft when they sold us on it, and we were like, you know what? And then you see all the leadership stuff, everything Will talks about, which is true, all through training camp, everything. We see all this leadership stuff, and I'm getting all warm and fuzzies. I'm getting the opposite. But since the season started, if we're going to follow the 70% rule and make a quick good decision instead of trying to make the long perfect decision, we might have something to think about at the end of this season.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the call. I think a lot of that's fair.
It's very fair.
And I don't know, Easton Freeze talked about it yesterday on Twitter that if this team earns the number 1 overall pick again, they've got a decision to make. How do you evaluate Fernando Mendoza? How do you evaluate Ty Simpson? How do you evaluate other quarterback options compared to the one you have? That's going to be a discussion. Now, I think the answer to that discussion is that Cam Ward, at the very least, earns 2026. Right? Is there anything Cam Ward can do this year, Ramon, to take away his ability to start at quarterback in week 1 of the 2026 season, if healthy, for the Tennessee Titans?
An injury and somebody else comes in and play better. I look at the Colts situation. Anthony Richardson, right? They saved their career saved their franchise by seeing him get injured and other quarterbacks coming in and playing better. Right now, you got Anthony Richardson in year 3 as the number 2 quarterback behind a rehashed quarterback in Daniel Jones. Like, it's not far-fetched. We've had these conversations with people around the league. Well, you and I both have said, I'll go get another one. You treat it just like just like somebody who's got a new girlfriend every other holiday season.
Right, but who would that quarterback be?
I don't know who it is.
It'd be Brandon Allen if Cam Ward gets hurt this season. And I don't see a world where Brandon Allen plays well enough to earn QB1 at the Titans in 26, even if Cam did get hurt and he crushed it.
I know. Can you go get Cam deserves year 2. He will get year 2. 100% should get year 2. But here's the other part on my evaluation of Cam. This year, all right, it's just like the first game of the season every year. That one we'll just wash away and see what happens. The same thing that was given to Will Levis, respectfully. Will Levis was given those first 7 games, and then it was the whole marketing and media spin of like, hey, he's going to be the guy, let's go.
Season, right?
And then year 2 happened, and you didn't see the progress. Now, to be fair to Will and to be all brutally honest about Cam's got a lot of tendencies that he's going to have to clean up going into this year 2. You want to see some of this be cleaned up before going into the latter part of the season. Also, there was a point yesterday where Cam looked like he was about to toss the football in the air and he tucked it. I was like, ooh, that's growth right there. That right there, the steps that's being able to be had, awesome. But there has to be at some point in the season, and I know it was only for a half yesterday, but there has to be something that you're seeing Cam elevate everybody else other than the first half scripts and concept plays that are going. We're watching. Compare a rookie to a rookie. Jackson Dart with a very similar offensive roster yesterday with the New York Giants. Look as if there's a lot of optimism behind them. And I think it's absolutely fair that both of these guys be compared because they're first-round quarterbacks. Both of them are. New York Giants, it's offensively in the same situation. Bad, not good. And you're seeing him make something out of a hodgepodge of characters too.
I don't totally agree.
That's where I will be when it comes down to Cam, though.
I don't totally agree. I think Jackson Dart has walked into a better situation.
You think New York Giants offensively is a better situation?
I do.
I don't.
I think they have a better offensive line. I think they still have their head coach who has developed quarterbacks. I think Brian Daboll has done the job before and understands how to set up his young quarterback for success. And up until a few weeks ago, he had Malik Neighbors. I still think that's a better cast around Jackson Dart in New York than the cast around Cam Ward here. Now, all that is true, and Jackson Dart is playing better than Cam Ward.
You had their head coach running to the injury tent begging him to come out because
no, that's true.
of what
he's playing better. So I can't argue the fact that Jackson Dart is playing better than Cam Ward, but I think I think two things can be true. Jackson Dart has been better than Cam Ward so far and has more help.
I push back on that one. I just don't see that one being the case because offensively, I'm seeing Jackson Dart elevate. And this is a one-game comparison to the similar opponent. It played against the Denver Broncos, and he had them on the drive to go win the football game through his arms, through his legs. That was fascinating to see. I still will contend this. I still will contest this. Cam Ward has yet this year, either because of the team, because of the coach, or because of it's too much right now, he's yet to have the big moment. And that's the problem that he's going to have to get away from or have to chase and have to show. The promise of being a franchise quarterback has to be shown at some point.
His throw against Arizona to Calvin Ridley to set them up for a game-winning field goal was a big moment.
But here's
it might not be big enough for you, but I don't think you could say that wasn't a big moment.
The offensive ability to go win a game hasn't been shown this year in its entirety.
Well, they did against Arizona. Now, if you want to make the argument that for 4 quarters you haven't seen that consistently,
right,
I'm willing to give you that.
Yes.
But he's given them a big moment. He just haven't given them enough big moments, plural. That flash in the pan of the 2-minute drive in Arizona to beat the Cardinals is what you want to see more of. Tempo, vertical passing game, accurate down the field, connection with your number one receiver with clean pockets. Ball getting out quick.
So the comment I say on our YouTube, it's interesting. It's interesting take. Well, Ramon's take is interesting knowing how much it takes to elevate a bad team. Here's the point of it all, though, too. At that position, and I know he's a rookie, but the elevation of a team should be seen at some point. Now, either the cast of characters are bad and they are offensively, but like the expectation for him coming in, Cam, and it may have just been the biggest media spin we've seen of Cam being generational. And Callahan calling him that, or at least alluding to the fact that you go get a generational guy. I think our expectation was if you're not going to take those Giants trade or anybody else, the elevation of this team through the quarterback selection should be seen. Now, if we're just going to sit here and do this show and everybody listen to us and the expectation of this fan base is, well, the team just sucks. Well, let's go back to the crux of it all then. If the team sucks and you as a fan base see it, why didn't the front office also see that too and say, let's make this team better as a foundation, as a base, get more players, find more guys that you want to have inside of this locker room before you go purchase a quarterback? That's the problem, Dan. If the team sucks, then Cam will also suck also. That's my point of it all. Either he's going to have to elevate this team through his talent and you believe in his talent and he's going to show that eventually, and you believe in his idea of being the guy solely because of him, because Drake May showed that a little bit last year with Gerard Mayo as his coach. You saw that and said, oh, any coach that grabs him is going to have a gem. Or are you saying, again, the team sucks and you should have taken the opportunity to grab more draft picks before getting a franchise quarterback and potentially ruining him again? Because Jacksonville has played this role. You've seen Carolina play this role. You've seen Cleveland play this role. You've seen other organizations play. San Francisco's played this role of not finding the right guy. That's what you're saying then. This move was bad for Cam's career and also bad for the Titans' ability to progress and win games, if that's the case then.
It's too early. Ask me again this time next year. Because you didn't draft Cam Ward for 2025. You drafted Cam Ward for 25, 26, 27, and hopefully 28 and beyond. So the decision that you made to not take a trade offer from the New York Giants and draft Cam Ward instead was not for this team, Ramon. That's where I disagree with you. This is the decision they made in the order of operations to say we believe enough in the human and in the quarterback and in the talent, and that it may look bad at the start, but as we keep digging, we're going to hit a diamond eventually. I think there is an expectation, again, that this was not always going to be pretty at the offset. And yesterday, without Calvin Ridley, to still throw for a career-high passer rating, yards per attempt, passing yards, did he not take a step yesterday?
I thought for half.
Okay, well, that's better than a quarter. That's better than 2 drives. I mean,
his second half performance.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
The ball
but again,
flopping out of his hand, and overthrows and underthrows, though.
Defenses are just going to play cover 0 and walk up to the line and say, get separation, beat us, before the tackle is going to give up a sack. Like, there is a very clear pathway to beating the Tennessee Titans right now on defense. Get them in third down, play cover 0, even if it's 3rd and 3. Play cover 0, jam the wide receivers of the line, don't let them get separation, and trust that Cam is not going to let it rip. And some of that's on Cam. Cam's got to take some chances in the right moments and in the right context. I'm not blaming this all on the supporting cast, but I don't know what else we expect him to really do.
You know what sucks, though, too? And it's in college and in NFL. You ain't really given enough time to actually work through all of this stuff.
No. And so I get your point that all this is true, and so you should have traded back. I get what you're saying, but I still am not ready to make that statement yet, because the identity of Cam Ward as the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans is something that will be more clearly decided after 2026. As a number 1 overall quarterback, and as guys that are drafted into this organization where Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker in the offseason said, going into year 3, we want to know who we have.
Understood.
And we're not even into November of year 1 yet. I'm just not ready to go there yet to say that trade or not trade was the right decision. I don't even know if picking him was 100% the right decision. I just still am saying my grade is not complete. I don't know yet.
I 100% agree with you there. But it's the point of it all to me is this. He won't be given the time to actually see or show what he is if you don't also trust the process of making this team better. Anthony Richardson is benched. We've seen all these other quarterbacks on other rosters who are first-round draft picks. They're on other teams right now because at the time, those teams sucked as a unit, as a franchise. Like, you're almost assisting this process. If the team doesn't get better, in his situation as a professional being bad.
Let's go to the phones, shall we? Eric is in Charlotte up next. What's up, Eric? Eric, go ahead.
Eric and Charlotte.
And
Oh, my bad,
Oh,
y'all. My bad.
there he is. You
I
had
said
about
talking,
0.1 more seconds.
I said, what's up, good people? And I got no response. I'm like, I had it on mute because I got a 2-week-old and she's back here asleep. So,
What you got for us?
man, this has been great to listen to y'all this morning. I felt like so many points I wanted to hit on, but I got to make it quick. So, my faith hasn't stopped with Cam Ward. And I guess the number one thing is because I'm looking around the NFL. I'm looking at Daniel Jones. I look at Baker Mayfield. Look at Bryce Young. That's enough for me to know that a coaching staff, a system, can help with changing situations, with culture, with aura. So that is right there is enough for me. And I was like, I'm missing something. Like, dude, I thought he played solid outside of the turnovers. He has to chill on that. But I feel like we're talking. A lot of fans and me, even you, Ramon, we're talking like this guy is the quarterback from the Jets a couple years ago. What's his Zach?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, like, come on. And I don't think we should. Before the season started, I did think trade back, go get Dart. I was huge on that. Go get Dart. Trade back, go get Dart. But like once we got him, of course I'm a Titans, and so I'm like, okay, I love what Cam's looking like, what he's doing. So. Is it fair to compare the two? Yeah, because they're first round, because the quarterbacks. But I think the cast is better in New York. I also think, as crazy as it sounds, the coaching is better in New York offensively. And then thirdly, that offensive line. I mean, don't they have 2 first-round draft picks, Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas?
So do you.
I mean, I'm talking top 10. So I think, and then Richardson, he quit on his team, and then he had an injury issue. So I think Cam Ward is still, you know what I mean? He's gonna be all right. And you bring in Mike McCarthy. I feel like he could also help with coaching, with the offensive mindset, with that scheme. So I don't know, man. I think we got to chill on that because it's too early. But y'all have an amazing day, a great week,
You too.
and hey, tighten up. We ain't gonna have too much success, but I look forward to see Cam continue to progress. And that pass he threw to DK, like in a tight window, which I thought was going to be a pick, and he got it to him. He did glimpse a little to the right, and then he put it in there. I was like, yo. So I get excited on, I don't care if it's one pass, you know what I mean? As long as we're seeing progress, we're seeing something to look forward to.
Yep.
I'll hang up. I'll holler at y'all.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate the call.
Just go to the next one, Will, at this point.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll do that coming up next. 615-737-1045. We'll start with Andy and go rapid fire on the phones to wrap up hour 2 next.
Synergex and Low T Center are the original MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. And what makes them the MVPs? Well, to start, they use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone to increase your testosterone to a level that is just right for you. Did you also know that other clinics may compound their testosterone so you don't even know what you're getting or how effective it will be? Synergex and Low T Center are the real experts that you can trust for quality care. And also, they are one of the only providers that accept most major insurances. Other clinics and online services charge you sky-high prices for testing, labs, membership. It goes on. But Synergex and Low T Center, they make it affordable and easy for you to start and stay on your treatment, too. That's the biggest part of it all. And here's the other part about it. For a limited time, you can visit any Synergex or Low T Center for free hormone consultation and a free T-test and automatically enter for a chance to win either autographed sports memorabilia such as jersey balls or helmets, or you may win a pair of tickets to a major sporting event in town. They're just simply the best. Guys, just imagine how much better you'll feel when you reignite your energy. Get back to feeling like you again. Book your appointment at trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com. You'll be wishing you did it sooner. It's Ramon Foster for Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, a trusted, family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years, man. They stand out by building relationships and earning trust through referrals, never through high-pressure tactics, door knocking, or storm chasing. Y'all know whenever there's a major storm in our area, you see the signs all in your neighborhood. People are just walking up and down and soliciting their need for you to want to have your roof fixed. But here's the thing. They lie about those types of things. They get up on your roof and just tell you, hey, this is what you need, and you believe them. But here's what I want to tell you. For a company that is local, number one, but also do stuff the right way, because here's the thing. They believe that you'll use them now or 10 years from now. But they want to build that trust with you by being honest and upfront about what your roof needs and if you need to file a claim on your insurance. You don't have to worry about guys just wanting to sell you on something that you may not need. For a company that you can trust, a roofer that you can count on, you can call them at 615-868-9999 or visit the website at jewelroofing.com. That's Jewel Roofing with 2 L's.com.
Wrapping up the first half of your Monday morning on Ramon and Will. We are fueled by Scooters Coffee, and we're locally owned. Scooters Coffee, Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Weather's getting a little colder. A hot coffee in your life, a caramel and pumpkin mixture in your caffeine this morning. Great way to start your day. Go by and see them. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. We go back to the phones. Has your opinion of Cam Ward changed since week one? Andy in Clarksville is up next. Hey, Andy.
I'm more confident in him. I'll say that because I think he's been more decisive these last few games compared, and that's what he's doing. What a rookie is. You got to expect it's going to be steps. I think a problem is before the season started, and Vegas had us, I think, at 5 games over under for
5.5. Yep.
A lot of fans were thinking, "Oh, that's easy, 5." Now we're looking at it and going, "I think we'll be lucky to get to 5." And I think at this point, we'd be happy to get to 5 because that'll be the back half of the season with 4 more wins. I think we'd be happy with that. Now, we can do a revisionist history and go back, we should have fallen back maybe even twice, which was a lot of the draft idea was to fall back twice in the draft. And as far as draft talk goes, nobody put out mock drafts until the day after the Super Bowl. I don't want to see a single one because we're going to have 4 months of that or however long it is from the Super Bowl to the draft, and it's way overdone. And so let's not even start while we got actual real football happening.
Amen.
Because that's maddening. So, but, hey, he's making steps. And as long as we continue to see some progression, it doesn't have to be leaps and bounds. I'd love leaps and bounds, but I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting steps. So if we got a first half yesterday, if we can get a first half and half a quarter and then get to three quarters, hey, when Troy Aikman was a rookie and he only won 1 game, it was against a rival with the Washington Redskins. I remember because I grew up a Redskins fan, and that was a thorn that year. Hey, maybe we can do it this weekend against the Colts.
No doubt.
Thank you, Manny. Appreciate the call. That'd be great. Colts look like the best team of the AFC right now.
They're cooking.
But yes, we are not doing mock draft Monday. We are not doing draft talk. Not in October. I would rather scout our players than someone else's until we have to scout someone else's. Yeah. And there are enough good young players on this team that I want to track progress of more so than Ruben Bain or Fernando Mendoza. Like, we will have months to talk about the NFL draft. We are not going to start now.
Yeah, we're not there.
Just absolutely not. So, miss me with that. I agree with Andy on that front.
Yeah.
Let's go to David in Nashville up next. What's up, David?
What's up, David?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So, I think Cam is, I love Cam. I think he is tough. I think we did the right decision. How about this as a take? Look at Jackson Dart, Jaden Daniels last year. What did they have that Cam does not have? Mentors. Jaden Daniels had Marcus Mariota, a professional. He had been through the fire. Jackson Dart has Russ and Jameis Winston. They've been on top. You guys said our backup quarterback's name. I forgot it already.
Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen. I'm not saying he can't learn from Brandon Allen, but he needs – his steps would be much faster if he had somebody saying, hey, look for this, this, and this. Do this, this, and this. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, appreciate the call, David. Maybe you disagree. I don't think who the backup quarterback is really makes that big of a difference. I think if you want to make that comment about mentors and talk about who the head coach is or who the offensive coordinator is, we can have that discussion. But, Ramon, does the backup quarterback really make that big of a difference?
Not that much because you see Brandon Allen communicating with Cam, though. I don't mean to minimize your point right there, but, like, Cam comes off. I think it was on the interception. Brandon Allen's right there by him. He's right there by him. I get what you're saying. Maybe it's if Brandon Allen could have played in front of Cam. You know what I'm saying? Like, give him a little bit of time to see somebody else operate the offense. At this point, I think the biggest step for this team or the biggest breather you need is the bye week.
Can I also say something? And I know that
it's your show. Your name is on this thing.
Totally fair.
Your name's on the show.
Jaden Daniels isn't exactly crushing it this year.
Not this year.
I know he did last year. And I'm not minimizing how good he is. And still, he's got a 97 quarterback rating and he's been hurt. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is bad by any stretch of the imagination. But Jaden Daniels and C.J. Stroud are the best examples, too, that even when a quarterback has a good rookie season, they've got to continue to evolve and adjust. And it's too early to really spike the football on those guys either. Like, out of all those guys in 24, the best quarterback is the one you played yesterday. In Drake May. Drake May was not lighting it up this time last year. He wasn't. He was fine. He took a ton of sacks. But I think Drake May yesterday is the best example, again, of like, we don't really know who even the class of 24 guys are yet. So why do we have any level of confidence talking about who Cam Ward is? I don't even know who Jaden Daniels really is yet. I know he had an incredible rookie season, but I mean, again, we thought C.J. Stroud was the next coming of, I don't know, Peyton Manning. C.J. Stroud crushed it rookie season. What is he now?
Another version of Lamar. What is he right now? Now, they've won 2 games in a
He's
row,
good.
and they're on the bye.
Right.
We'll see what it'll look like if they can continue that after the bye.
Washington has lost 2 L's. Has had 2 L's in a row.
Yeah, they have. And Jaden Daniels been out, though, too.
Right. Oh, you were talking about Houston. Okay.
I was just looking at both.
Talking about Stroud.
Yeah, you mentioned Washington a second ago taking
sure.
2 L's, but Jaden Daniels also been out a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
And injured.
615-737-1045 is our number. Open phone lines continue. We've got about 25 more minutes to talk Titans with you before we switch to the college football hour in hour 3, as is our custom on Monday mornings. We'll get back to your calls. We'll start with Mason. We'll go to Gil and John. Open phone lines of the Titans, plus how much injuries impacted yesterday's game for the Titans against the New England Patriots. That as well, coming up next. Moving in 2025 is a headache. It is a challenge. And if you've been looking at that neighborhood that's been your dream spot in Middle Tennessee, maybe you want to make the jump, but you're scared of what the market's going to be like selling your home. Hey, it's Will Bowling. I want to tell you about my friend Bernie Gallerani, who guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. There's no fear. There's no anxiety about what the market is going to get you back, because Bernie guarantees to get you results. He will let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent who has the 30-day guarantee to sell your home, and if not, he will buy it from you. He encourages you to take that leap of faith because he knows the market. He's local. He understands where you want to be in Middle Tennessee and also your needs, your goals. He's going to get to know you, and here's the best part. He's got a 615 area code. He's not one of these big national agents that doesn't know Nashville, doesn't know how the market works. You can contact Bernie Gallerani directly at 615-428-2644. That's his personal cell phone number. Call Bernie Gallerani today, 615-428-2644, or head online, BernieGallerani.com. Again, that's 615-428-2644, online at BernieGallerani.com.
8 o'clock. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall to 1-6 on the year after a 31-13 loss to the New England Patriots on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. They turned the ball over twice, giving up 5 sacks on the day. Quarterback Cam Ward, 25 of 34 for 255 yards, a touchdown, interception, and a fumble as well that led to a scoop and score for the Patriots. Patriots quarterback Drake May, 21 of 23 for 222 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons left the game in the first half with a hamstring injury, and he did not return. Mike McCoy will meet with the media coming up later today. And over the weekend in college football, Tennessee falls to Alabama in the third Saturday of October, 37-20 in Tuscaloosa, and they drop to number 17 in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt with an impressive 31-24 win over LSU in Nashville on Saturday. They move up to number 10 in the AP poll ahead of their matchup this Saturday with number 15 Missouri. And Florida, they have fired head coach Billy Napier despite their win over Mississippi State on Saturday. Florida goes 3-4 this season and 22-23 overall in the 4 seasons under head coach Billy Napier. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you've got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, Monday morning, is halfway over on Ramon and Will. Scooter's Coffee fuels us and can fuel you as well heading into a brand new work week. Go by and see them. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. He's at Ramon Foster. I'm at Will_Bowling. Justin Hawkins, our producer of the show, at Ramon and Will. If you want to follow Justin as well, you should do that too. JHawkins_20. If you want to be in touch with all of us over your weekends and when we're not on air for 4 hours a morning, your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Mm-hmm. How much did Titans injuries impact yesterday, Ramon?
They just spiraled after that point.
It felt like it's the story of the game. I don't think you can tell the story of Titans and Patriots in Week 7 of 2025 without saying that Jeffrey Simmons, Calvin Ridley, and L'Jarius Sneed weren't available, and without them, you needed to play your A game to have a chance. Tennessee Titans didn't play their A game.
No, they weren't. And just the threats of who you have available to you just isn't there either. We're talking about, you got 2 rookies who are trying to make way for whatever this team is going to be. 3 at this point. Chimere, you got Alec Ayumena, and also Cam Ward. That doesn't strike fear in opposing teams. It just doesn't. No matter how high they're drafted, what they've done so far, they still got to go prove to you that they're capable of what they're doing. You mix that with the fact that they're in a situation where the offensive line can't protect, you can't get a run game going. You need every hand on deck. That's what I will agree with you on is problematic when your starters are out.
Yeah, I thought that without Jeff, there was lack of pressure. I mean, I know you still sacked him 4 times, sacked Drake May 4 times, but there was lack of consistent pressure. When you were getting pressure, you were, finding some success, obviously, but with the explosive ability of what Drake May provided you in the scramble game and just the off-script running and him evading the pocket and being decisive when he chose to run. I mean, 8 carries for 62 yards, 7.8 per run, had a 19-yard run mixed in there as well. I mean, Drake May was just terrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrific in this game.
Yeah, he was. You look at just his efficiency. And like I said, his decisiveness. He knew where he was going. He knew when he had to. Even in the moments where he took sacks, protected the football, got down. Worst thing he did yesterday was run the football and bang his head on the turf the way he did. He shook his head. NFL should have gotten to him a whole lot sooner than they did when he looked like
Eye in the sky pointed him and said, go to the tent, please.
Go to the tent.
That's right. Mike McCoy yesterday, Titans interim head coach, speaking with the media. He talked this week leading up to the game about players, not plays. Was asked about the simplicity of the offense and kind of pushed back on that a little bit post-game.
It's not about the simplicity of it. It's what do our players do best? And that's what we're always going to look at. It doesn't, every play on that call sheet you think is a good play. That's why it's on there. So I think we're going to always, every time you go into a game plan from week to week, you look, what do you think is the best way to approach this team, and what is the best way for your football team to go down and move the ball and score points offensively? And you saw what Cam and the rest of the offense did. Chim had the big play, the explosive play. It was the perfect coverage, things like that, and that's what happens. Players play, go make a play. It was great to see.
How would you assess maybe Cam's day, and what do you say to him about the turnovers? It's happened a couple of games, and I know he's not trying to do it, but how do you get that out of him?
Well, that's something that can't happen. We got to avoid that. And there's going to be. Listen, you're going to have some mistakes. There's going to be some things like that come up, but it's happened too often in the last couple of weeks. So it's something we harp on. We talk about it all the time, and players got to go out there and play, and we got to do a better job as coaches also. So we're all in this thing. We are all in this thing together.
Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy speaking yesterday postgame.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear him speak about. It's the mistakes that you're simply going to need time to correct. It's putting yourself in positions where you worked on stuff throughout the course of the week, and it works. Question I have for Mike McCoy, and I'm sure they're trying to find as a staff too, is what do you do when those things don't work? Who's going to step up in those moments? And that's where coaching takes place, and also the players need actions actually shown on the playing field too. Because again, everything that I feel like we saw in training camp and the optimism of what this team could be just hadn't clicked, hadn't shown. It's been disjointed as a season so far.
Let's go back to the phones where Mason is in Nashville up next. Hey, Mason.
What up, Mason?
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Ramon. Hope y'all are doing well.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate all the input so far today. Love the hot takes. I actually kind of wanted to chime in a little bit back on the Cam Ward where, I think we're not – if we know that we're going to be getting the top draft pick next year somewhere in that, and we're being realistic with how the season's looking – How good is it that we keep throwing little screen passes and we're trying to build confidence to a degree when at the end of the day, if we see some of the passes that do happen, maybe you could develop the yips on the counter versus where I'm like, as a fan going yesterday, shout out first game I actually went to in person, which was pretty cool. Regardless of the result, I would love to see us just let the kid have an opportunity to throw the ball. Like where I think, look, if we want to see, y'all were talking earlier about we want to see what year 2 or year 3,
sure.
Or if we really want to know, like I think the guy was saying earlier about the 70%, if we don't give the kid opportunities, like if I know we're playing the Patriots with Tom Brady, I know that's a pass-first offense where we're going to trick somebody with a run. At the end of this season, with what we have left, there's plenty of games to turn into maybe it's not our true identity, but if it's, hey, I want to develop this kid. I want to see what he's worth. I want to see what's going on. I want to see the long balls. I want to see him in situations where maybe we do run a draw because he's got a little more athleticism than a slow TB. It's just sad to see somebody who we keep talking about who has this much potential, and regardless of him missing passes, I don't think that's an issue either. I think you need to air it out to get it, if we're going to use any of those analogies.
Yeah, thank you for the call, Mason. Appreciate it. I mean, I guess to kind of summarize his point, do you continue trying to do more in the pass game and air it out and take chances in order to teach and get the best out of Cam Ward?
It's risky because the more he does that, the more you ask the offensive line to block for him, the more you ask the wide receivers to go win for him. Like passing down the field isn't something that's shown to be a positive for this team and has been thrown to the sideline. It's just more exposure to an already bad situation for him as a player.
Gil in California is up next. Hey, Gil.
Hey, y'all. Nice talking to y'all again. I try to call in on Monday.
Yes, sir.
But today I just want to say, the Titans is my only out-of-state team. I love them. And, but my thing is our management. It's like we cannot get it right. And us having the worst record last year, I don't see too much improvement. And I would think that it'll be a lot more improvement, with the draft picks and all the money that we have. But our offensive line was supposed to be the strong point. They can't get that right. And I just think everything goes back to management. And I want to know, how much faith do you guys have from a 1 to 10 scale that these guys can actually get it right? I mean, every single year we are injured. All the main players are injured. Everybody we've paid to perform, they're underperforming. but are rookies. So I just want to know from a 1 to 10 scale, what do you how much faith do you have in this staff, upper staff, to get it right?
Thank you, Gil.
Gil, that's a long answer. We got tons of calls right now. You asked me what's my level of them getting it right with what we've seen. Borgonzi seemed to draft well in year one.
I have faith in Mike Borgonzi. I really don't know.
I don't know
with you. I think it's kind of an incomplete grade on Borgonzi because, again, he's only been here for one offseason, and we only have about half a game of sample size. I mean, and for all of it, like for his setup with Chad Brinker, I'll throw him in there too. Like it just, this current organizational setup hasn't been in place for very long for me to tell you with absolute certainty whether or not it is or isn't going to work. It just kind of like my grade on Cam Ward. It's kind of an incomplete grade. I don't know yet.
Yeah, even if I give you an answer, it ain't going to satisfy what you want to hear on this one specifically. Considering you look at if it is Borgonzi, is Chad Brinker going to allow him to have the last say-so? How far does that go?
And it's hard for us to know, too, like, who's doing what?
If that's a thing.
Which decisions were Chad decisions? Which decisions were Mike decisions? I mean, ultimately, I guess they're all responsible for all of it. But again, like, I don't know. And Emmett says, you have faith in Borgonzi, not Brinker? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I think Borgonzi in the short term has shown that he's gotten a draft class right in a very short amount of time. But again, like, how much of that was Chad? Like, I don't know. That's why I have a hard time telling you with certainty an answer to that because we're not in those meetings. We're not in the building. I have confidence in Brinker as well. It's a very new setup that needs time. I know that doesn't help you guys, and you don't want it to take more time.
The rookies ain't hit their wall yet.
The reality of it.
Because I thought last year JC was in a position to where he was going to be better, and then he hit a wall, and there's been a skid ever since. I feel like too.
Once we have a full season of evidence to look back on, it'll be easier to answer that question. But for right now, I think the grade is still incomplete.
It's easier to like Borgonzi more than Brinker because Brinker's been here for 3 years and it's been nothing but bad.
That's true.
Where Borgonzi's been here for one season and his draft class is already better than the 2 years that Rand has had.
Well, we thought last year's class was going to be good too. Remember?
I think this class. We were
having the same conversation. We have for 3 straight years because, again, like 7 games into Tajay Spears' career.
Okay,
7 games into a lot of these guys' careers. We feel really good about them.
So let's say,
that's why my grade is incomplete.
But it's been relying upon Hawk, the youth, right? And these guys have yet to play an entire football season is the point I feel like I'm giving. No, it's the point I'm giving.
Right.
They hadn't hit 14 games in a season yet.
So same time next season, this draft class currently is not very good. Are you looking at Brinker or Borgonzi? Because now you're into year 4 again versus year 2.
Let's go to John in Lebanon up next before we get to college football on the other side. What's up, John?
What's up, John?
Hey, man, I'm here to check all these Cam Ward haters. Everybody's missing the silver lining to this, okay? Where else does the Titans suck? That's pass rush. Put that man at defensive end because that joker knows how to knock the ball out. Sucks.
Put who at defensive end?
John is saying put Cam Ward at defensive end. Coming up next, college football discussion on Ramon and Will. Tennessee falls in Tuscaloosa. Vanderbilt takes a step into the AP top 10. And Florida has got a head coaching vacancy. Auburn might have one soon, too. All of that and more is next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, man. I'm here to tell you, nobody wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. They're the small item things that create a lot of chaos inside your house. You got a plumbing issue, it's bad. HVAC, especially if it's cold or super hot outside, it's just an inconvenience. Or an electrical emergency, something you won't fix that's, it's just causing you a lot of inconvenience. And most of the time, you don't even know what it costs or if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's just trying to sell you something you do not need. But when you call Hiller, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. And the price you're told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill either. Hiller's been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated too. They're techs, and I've dealt with them. And if you've used Hiller, you know this. They're very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. And they're all background and drug screen too. And when they're on the way, cool part right here, they'll send you a photo of the tech coming to your home and a link to track them in real time so you're not sitting around wasting time. Their motto is happy you'll be if the service is free, and they absolutely mean that. To learn more about Hiller or to book with them like I do, visit their website at happyhiller.com.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Will Bowling. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait. No hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you could get today. Loan Pronto, A-plus rated with a BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780 and see how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
For many out there, man, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown's disappearing, maybe hair loss having you feeling your identity is being lost altogether. But I'm going to tell you, I got good news for you. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day and is guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what if you want your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? For Advanced Hair state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class doctors, it's not maybe your hair will grow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will regrow, all right? You decide how much and how thick and where you want the hair to go, and that's why Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I recommend them to everyone. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR. Visit our website at advancedhair.com.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. On Twitter, at Ramona Will, Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, our producer. Switching gears, as we do at this time every Monday, to a little bit of college football discussion, because the local teams deserve it with what happened over the weekend, one winning and one losing. We started Tuscaloosa, where Alabama wins the third Saturday in October, 37-20 over the Tennessee Volunteers. The Vols outgained Alabama, converted as many third downs as the Tide, and were 4 of 5 on fourth down. And if you had told me all three of those things were going to happen before the game, I'd tell you, great.
Yep.
Tennessee's at least within a score. 3-score loss. Really, it was kind of 2 because Tennessee scored a touchdown with 5 seconds left that was not reviewed, but that's okay.
You're right.
A 10-point loss, 17-point loss, it's a loss. What went wrong, Ramon? How did this happen? What disappointed you most from Tennessee's perspective?
Tennessee's inability to run the football in the first half, and also their lack of pressure on Ty Simpson. Again, third down, snake bit you again, I felt like, and gotta have it moments for the Vols. And I'll be quite honest with you, play calling, decisions. And that game was most disappointing. I'll go specifically to the game to the play that flipped the entire game on its head. It was the before half interception. If Joey's already hurt with a shoulder neck issue going on right now too, and this is a no timeout scenario, this is a tight goal line situation with about 12, 13 seconds left on the clock, 8, 9 seconds, whatever it was left on the clock. You lined up in a heavy set with the defensive lineman and an extra big in the game. The ability to run the football is dead. You got under 10 seconds, whatever it was at the time. 9 seconds. 9 seconds is what it was. You line up in that set for a spread offense that utilizes space, that utilizes skill players, that utilizes disadvantages because you're allowed to in college football. Coaching malpractice.
It was a totally inexcusable play call. And it totally changed this game.
That one is probably the most disheartening play of them all.
Agreed.
Another one to me was if they're playing too high and the safeties are as wide as they were and they made the adjustment coming out in the second half, why weren't you running more outside runs? Because if you could either middle screen them or have a quarterback run towards the middle of this defense, that's how Deshaun Bishop scored. Where was the scouting in that moment right there? I give Bama credit. They won the football game. The smoke was hazy in the stadium. Congrats to you Alabama fans out there that was waiting for this day. But I'll acknowledge this. That was a Coach Klein moment right there from Heupel and his staff offensively.
I agree. And Ramon, I think the way this game was lost makes a predictable result a lot more frustrating.
Yeah.
We did not expect Tennessee, at least I didn't. I'll speak for myself. I did not expect Tennessee to beat Alabama. I said it all of last week. I didn't love the matchup. I did not think Tennessee was going to go in there and win. Ramon, the plays were there to be made.
Yep.
I actually think the defense played well enough to win the football game. The defense, albeit with some big mistakes and a defensive pass interference on Colton Hood, in a moment where it was a one-score game that extended a drive. Like, the defense is not flawless in this thing, but I thought the game plan on defense was good enough. They still couldn't get off the field enough on third down, but they were better on third down than I expected against Ty Simpson and the Alabama.
Bama's 5 for 11. That's a dub. That's below their average in the SEC. They were averaging 52% completion percentages on third down against SEC opponents. You kept them 5 for 11.
Yeah. On your point about the end of the first half, why in the world is Chris Brazzell not on the field for that play is where I'll begin. It's one thing to go under center and to go play action when there's no threat of running. It's another to have a two-man route concept with two tight ends in that moment. Now, Joey Aguilar's got to place that ball better, or he's got to throw it away and live to fight another day. So it's not totally on Heupel, but Heupel shouldn't be putting Joey in that position.
Should never happen.
Ultimately, Josh Heupel is responsible for that.
Yep.
And here's where I'm at with Josh Heupel in the state of Tennessee football today. Until they figure out how to clean up penalties away from Neyland Stadium, we're going to keep having these same conversations. They're going to keep getting behind the 8 ball. Because again, Ramon, on a per play basis and from a yardage perspective, they moved the football. But a lot of that yardage is happening on 3rd and 16 because you false started, or you've had an illegal man downfield, or you have a holding penalty, or you have an illegal formation that erases a big first down play because you had somebody covered up that wasn't supposed to be. Tennessee has never averaged less than 7 penalties a game under Josh Heupel. Let me say that again. Even the good teams, under Josh Heupel, Tennessee has never averaged less than 7.2 penalties per game. This year, Tennessee is averaging 8 penalties per game. It's just not good enough. There is not an offense out there, Ramon, that is going to consistently overcome 3rd down and long because of the penalty situations this offense is putting themselves into. They are a really good offense. But when you have to beat the opponent and yourself away from home in a hostile environment against a really good football team, your C+ or B- game was not going to be good enough to win in Tuscaloosa. No. You needed an A game, and Tennessee didn't play close to it. That's what's frustrating about this. A lot of what went wrong, you felt like Tennessee could have controlled. Alabama didn't do that to you. You were the ones that did not line up properly before the play and erased a big gain in the explosive pass game because your slot receiver was off the line of scrimmage and needed to be on the line of scrimmage. And things like that. Those are controllables. Jaden Perlotti picking up a football that was fumbled and running to the end zone instead of sitting there and waiting. And then you put your offense back in the field, Ramon, and they still can't play complementary football because this offense has its worst moments when the defense does its best job. And then vice versa. The offense starts to put some drives together. Then all of a sudden the defense can't get off the field when they have been giving you 3rd down stops. That's where we're at right now. And it's frustrating. And it's going to keep Tennessee out of the playoff when it had a chance after what they showed against Georgia to exceed their expectations. I'm back to where I was preseason. It's probably an 8 or 9 win team because they're young, they're inexperienced, and they make so many self-inflicted mistakes.
It's that. And at some point, too, the shift has to happen as far as pay given. It has to. We're in the NIL era, and we can speak about contracts. We can speak about how you pull guys from the portal and pay them. Or in high school, if you also want to play that part of it too, you got to go get a high-caliber safety. You also got to go get a high-caliber defensive tackle. The money that the offense is spending is fine, but in the SEC, you got to play defense. And right now, our run defense is hit or miss, and I do think that starts with personnel. I do look at the back end of the secondary, albeit it's got some good players, and there's good players that are missing right now too. You got 2 potential first-round corners, or at least it's first 2-day draft picks that are out. But you also have to ask yourself,
who's next?
Yeah, who's next? Or if the coverage isn't working, what about the front end of the defense? Like, you gotta go at some point spend on defense. And I say this as somebody that enjoys what Coach Heupel has been as a coach. But I do look at this in these type of gotta-have-it moments. How much are you relying upon your personnel and not just scheme? Because here's the thing. You didn't sack Ty Simpson not once in this matchup, and you knew you had to get to him. You barely got to him, too. And that was the thing, too. We spoke about how efficient he's been. Ty Simpson's going to mess around and make himself a very good professional football quarterback.
I think he's going to win the Heisman as it sits today. I mean, it's way too early to make any definitive claims on that because there's so much football
What don't you like about him, right?
But he looks really good, especially when he's given time.
And he
looks really, really good.
He had a lot of time.
He did. Caden Proctor has gotten way better from that Week 1 loss.
He has. But the other point, too, offensively, I want to get back to the goal line play. But when they got the run going also, and you could chip away because there was still time, and like the early second half of this ball game, they get a 10, 12-yard run, and then they'll throw a quick out to the left, a screen. And then you get 0 yards. And then the second and 10.
Do you think is Joey Aguilar making the wrong call in an RPO, or how much of that is Josh Heupel making the wrong play call?
I think it's the wrong play call. Okay. In my personal opinion.
All right.
Because here's what you do in that moment. You do exactly what Alabama did. You run the football again. You don't put yourself in a position where you got to throw the football to the sideline because, again, they got athletes over there at Alabama. The recruiting hasn't fallen off. Right? The quality of player that they have on their field hasn't fallen off. So at some point, if I've watched the game plan, and you have, Tennessee is going to spread you out and then throw wide. I'm attacking that, and they did. So 2nd and 10 is hard. It's very hard. I didn't like the flow of those offensive plays. And this goal line play, again, to me, in that short amount of time and that short amount of space, and you had proven that you can find open gaps on that Alabama defense, you either do this in that position. You throw your 5 wide out there, find a matchup. If you don't got it, throw it away. And at that point, you kick a field goal. Or you go 5 wide and you score. But you don't go heavy personnel just because it's on the goal line to try to trick somebody. There's no trickeration right now. There's a 12th man as far as the end zone is concerned. And then you have no timeouts.
Spread them out.
You can fake me out with that formation and that call if you got a timeout. It is what we call in Pittsburgh 7 shots. 2 yards and in is we got 7 times to get into the end zone at that point in time, maybe twice with the way the ball has got to be snapped and get it out of his hand. If you believe in your passing spread offense as much as you do, in that situation, Coach Heupel and his offensive staff got to own that one.
Just throw a fade to Chris Brazel.
Exactly.
I mean, as one of those plays, it was second down.
Yeah.
Throw a fade to Chris Brazel and see what happens.
That was coaching malpractice.
One of the best receivers in college football.
At 5 years in, he shouldn't be learning this type of stuff on the job.
I couldn't agree more.
He should not be learning on the road in the SEC in a night game against that team.
Yep.
Agreed. You don't do that. And then statistically, they weren't good against the run. Why didn't you commit to it more, especially when they're double teaming Chris Brazel, too?
I really think some of that is just Joey Aguilar making the wrong reads on RPOs. Like, after the fumble in the third quarter, when Jaden Perlotti doesn't pick up the football and Tennessee gets it back, they open the drive with a nice run to Deshaun Bishop. Then you can see Josh Heupel's reaction is on the very next play, 1st and 10. Joey rips the ball out, throws it at Mike Matthews. Tennessee goes nowhere. Or throws it to Staley. Matthews wasn't blocking, first of all. So you've got numbers over there. It's technically the right decision, but Mike Matthews wasn't blocking. Mental error number 1.
Yup.
Very next play. While Aguilar is checking into a different play, Sham Umarov taps Sam Pendleton's leg. He snaps it into Joey, who's got to run back and cover it. 3rd and 19. Then you have a pass to Mike Matthews that would have put you in field goal range short of the sticks that he drops. That would have set you up for a field goal around 47, 48 yards. He drops it. Now you're punting. All of this after a fumble that you created from finally pressuring the quarterback where Ty Simpson gave it to you. It's too many mental mistakes, too many things that you can control that you didn't. That is where Tennessee has got to mature as a college football program. Josh Heupel deserves a ton of credit for bringing Tennessee out of the wilderness and for giving this Vols offense an identity.
Yeah.
But, Ramon, right now, their identity as an offense is, well, they're pretty good if they don't do something really stupid. Their plan A is good, but how many penalties and mental mistakes and bad play calls at times and bad game management, bad clock management force you into plan B, C, or D? That's the issue with Tennessee right now, and it's going to hold them back from making a playoff in a season where, surprisingly, I think they might actually have a good enough team to do it. Now, the season is still in front of them. I know people don't want to hear this, and people respond to me on Twitter being like, I don't want to talk about the playoff. It's the same situation as last year. If you win out, you're going to have a shot to backdoor into this thing. But in order to win out, you're going to have to beat an Oklahoma team that is nasty on defense and a Vanderbilt team that's got a better playoff chance than you do right now at home. There is a lot still to play for. There is a playoff still to be battled for. But right now, this does not look like a college football playoff team.
No.
With the amount of mistakes that they make that are just total unforced errors.
Too young to make those type of mistakes, and they're too common.
Yep.
And again, in gotta have it moments against a good Alabama team this past weekend, your defense didn't net you much at all. It didn't net anything when it come down to disrupting an offense that was moving. Jam Miller didn't have the night that you thought he would. As far as rushing the football, the escapability of mobile quarterbacks is always going to be problematic for this team, it seems like, because they get aggressive and then they don't keep their lanes. It's not smart right now is what you got to say. Is it self-inflicted? Yeah, you can say that. But I also say this, too. It's just not smart. The flow of the offense, to me, hasn't been smart. When it gets tight is the way I look at this one.
Vanderbilt 31, LSU 24. Diego Pavia's hitting Heisman poses. He threw for 160, ran for 86 and 2 touchdowns. As Vanderbilt beats 10th-ranked LSU to improve to 6-1 for the first time in 75 years. Vanderbilt, for the first time in a generation, is ranked in the top 10. Best start since 1950, beat LSU for the first time since 90, and the fourth meeting of these two teams since 1947. Diego Pavia has had a passing or rushing touchdown in 25 straight games. The second longest active streak in football behind Tommy Castellanos. He now has 13 wins as Vandy's starting quarterback. Before his arrival, Vandy had 12 wins total from 2019 to 2023. Impressive.
It was. And there was no answer from LSU as far as being able to stop Diego Pavia. You thought they had the speed to track him down. They absolutely didn't. He found other weapons in his arsenal that I don't think they game planned for. Cole Spence being a guy that he was going to go to was not something I don't think that was on their bingo card. Their two leading receivers were tight ends. So the linebacker matchup of those two guys or safeties that were covering was completely a mismatch. That is a good team that's playing solid defensively. They get penetration. I'm not sure what the blitz rate is or the pressure rate is as far as the Vanderbilt defense, but they are sending and keying guys quickly on opposing offenses. That is one calling card that they have, and the back end of the secondary is giving them time to get home too. Garrett Nussmeier looked, I don't want to say he looked pedestrian. He's 2 touchdowns on the day. He had his big moments, but he couldn't find his guys whatsoever. They started off the game by going to Barry and Brown often, and then they shut that down. And then he didn't have much of an answer soon after that. Vandy's defense is carrying the water more than I think that people want to say, given that it's Diego Pavia's show. But again, when you have a guy like him that can run it and pass it, it became problematic for a team that is known for its defense, couldn't stop him. When you realized he was going to run and protect himself while also getting hit, LSU was done. They were cooked.
It's a lot of what Stephen Godfrey talked to us about on Friday. Some of those delayed blitzes that puts LSU kind of in a tricky spot.
Yeah.
Against a mobile quarterback that can get out of the pocket after you send that heat. I thought it was really incredible the advantage that Vanderbilt had at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That is both a major feather in Clark Lee's cap for the team that he has built, for the grown men who are playing on both lines of scrimmage, on offense and defense. It is also a major indictment of LSU football under Brian Kelly. You got whipped on both sides of the ball by Vanderbilt. And no one was really surprised at it, Ramon. The only reason LSU was even in this game is because they popped a couple of explosive plays.
Yeah.
LSU had no rhythm or flow in this football game. LSU had scoring plays of 24 and 62 yards, other than a screen where you broke like 5 tackles and went all Marshawn Lynch on the defense, and a wide open pass to Trey'Dez Green where he's able to make some guys, miss in coverage and just walk into the end zone. LSU had nothing in this game. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Vanderbilt was by far the better team. They have a legitimate shot at the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Legitimate shot. Left on that schedule, you have Missouri with College Game Day coming to town this weekend, a game we'll talk a ton about. You have an Auburn team that looks like it's got a dead man walking head coach in Hugh Freeze. Really wish we'd predicted that this offseason. We kind of did. And you've got Texas, who had needed overtime to beat Kentucky. You have Kentucky, who needed overtime to lose to Texas.
Crazy.
And you have Tennessee, who right now can't stop a mobile quarterback. And you've got a pretty good mobile quarterback in Diego Pavia. Their pathway to 10-2 at least looks very realistic.
It's very real.
Very realistic. How do you handle success, Vanderbilt?
I don't think they have a problem with it.
We'll see.
I truly...
How do you handle success? Because I don't think Diego Pavia handled success well in Tuscaloosa. I think Diego Pavia tried to do too much against Alabama. Now, Alabama's a really good team, and they forced some of those mistakes. How do you handle the success, the attention, the noise? Clark Lee's done a really good job at recruiting and developing mature football players, old dudes. They got a bunch of 22 and 23-year-olds on that team. Maybe the maturity that they have as humans is enough to overcome the noise. We're going to see. I'm not making a statement either way. I want to see the question answered. How does Vanderbilt handle success? Because I think the conversation is going to shift this week, Ramon. Because there are a lot of people that still, Nick Saban said it on game day. He's like, I still just can't really rewire my brain to say that.
I heard him say it.
Vanderbilt is that team. I still got to see it. Now we've seen it. How do you handle it? We're going to find out. Kevin in Nashville leads us off next. 615-737-1045. Plus, Florida, an opening. Who's going to be the next head coach of the Gators? Talk about it next. What's up? Will Bowling here telling you about my new obsession. Daisy French onion dip is the absolute best. It's my guilty pleasure this time of year. Eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching the big game. Well, Daisy has come out with a delicious French onion dip and ranch dip that are a game changer. As delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Make sure you try some for the football this week or just for hanging out around the house. That's Daisy French onion dip, Daisy ranch dip at a grocery store near you.
Honestly means everything, especially when you're buying a vehicle. And that's why I purchased my new Fords from Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford have real deals. And what do I mean by that? Well, at Two Rivers Ford, the best price is clearly marked on their website or window sticker. You don't need to fill out a form with your information to get the best price. You don't need anything. And unlike other dealers, Two Rivers Ford never adds accessories or service plans in order for you to get the best deal. At Two Rivers Ford, the best clearly marked price is always available, always accessible, and always real. And if you want extra accessories or warranties, you're going to request them when you purchase them. Honestly, it's always a policy at Two Rivers Ford, which is why they're the South's most trusted Ford dealer. So for the best price and a real deal, get to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet. You can visit them online at tworiversford.com or call the non-commissioned sales team at toll-free 800-900-1000. Make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Wrapping up hour 3 in Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, 615-737-1045. Open for your phone calls. Florida did it, despite a win over Mississippi State. Firing Billy Napier, and there is an opening in Gainesville, Ramon Foster. How you got to feel if you're a Mississippi State fan this morning?
How you got to feel if you're an Ole Miss fan this morning?
Yeah, true.
How you feel if you're an Ole Miss fan?
With their loss to Georgia? That's 100% right.
Oh, no. Lane name.
True.
He's cooking.
Lane Kiffin is the first call Florida's going to make. Do you believe Lane Kiffin picks up the phone and takes the job, Ramon Foster?
Do I think he picks up the phone? Heck yeah.
Oh, he's got. I mean, yeah. Jimmy Sexton's
does he
picking
take
up
the
phone.
job? My understanding, I was talking to some people this weekend. Lane Kiffin has continually said his idol in this college, one of his main idols, is Steve Spurrier. I think I heard somebody else say, it was Godfrey.
Yeah.
It said if Spurrier calls him, bigger city, bigger tradition, bigger is nationally, the conversation is there. He doesn't have to fight the stereotypes of don't nobody want to go to Mississippi.
Yeah, but you have to fight a rebuild. I mean, you have to fight against, I think, a lot of things that are holding Florida back. I don't know. But my gut feeling is that they pick up the phone and call Lane. He says no, and they hire Eli Drinkwitz. That's what I think is going to happen. Vandy Chris on YouTube says Alex Golesh should be their next head coach. I would be stunned if Alex Golesh was the next head coach at Florida, because that's admitting that a school down the road in your state has a better coach, one, and B, Alex Golesh is the same profile of coach that Billy Napier was when they hired him, and very rarely do you see colleges hire the same type of coach back-to-back. They're going to now go for a sitting P4 head coach who has done it before and who has won big somewhere and built a program. They're not going to go for another G5 coach who's not done it at the highest level yet. So, no, Vandy Chris, I do not agree with you. I do not think Alex Golesh should be the next head coach of Florida.
Ole Miss's best case scenario is to Signetti him.
Lane, 100%.
Give him a number, a high one.
I agree.
Right now.
I think Lane has everything he needs to compete for national championships at Ole Miss. Like, I don't think there's much more that Florida is going to give him aside from pressure. That's the difference at Florida than it is Ole Miss. Now, some coaches like that pressure. I don't know if Lane is going to sign up for it because, honestly, Ramon, Ole Miss might be one of the best jobs in college football.
That's true.
You have got all of the resources. You've got money. You've got boosters who care. But you're not going to be fired if you don't win a national championship. You can go 9-3 and 10-2 at Ole Miss. And with the expectations and the culture of that program, they'll keep you forever. It's not Penn State. You know, James Franklin results at Ole Miss keep you there for a long time. At Penn State, they get you fired. At Florida, they also get you fired. I don't know. I agree with what Ron Slay says in the F&M Bank chat, saying you can't get the same players at Ole Miss that you can at Florida. I agree with that in high school recruiting. In the portal, I think you can get the same guys to go to Ole Miss than you can Florida in that realm. And that's where Lane's been really good, is in the transfer portal.
He's a portal king. It's going to be fascinating to see how he decides on this. And then I'm looking at social media last night. Everybody's pointing at his daughter. What she said to him, if he keeps making these, how real is that?
Chasing things, you're never going to be happy. Is paraphrasing what she told him, or paraphrasing what he told him in the E60 documentary.
You know what her difference is? She ain't a college football head coach.
College football head coaches are wired a little bit differently.
A little bit different. I'm sorry, whatever her name is, but
Landry.
Ooh.
We're going to see. I mean, unless you're Lane Kiffin and you're in his head, there's no way to know. I think you can make arguments for either job. I mean, Florida is without a doubt the better job. Florida is fertile recruiting ground. Florida is the ability to recruit in your backyard and have much better athletes. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that matters as much as it used to, Ramon. I think the sport and recruiting is more nationalized than regionalized the way it used to be, because it is easier to recruit kids that are not in your backyard than it ever has been.
I say the branding does matter, though, on the front end. Florida's branding does matter. I think the optics matter for Lane. I think the accessibility of his travel matters a little bit more, even though he's going to fly private out of those regional airports in Oxford. What about his players that's got to come in there? Like, he still has to pay attention to high school recruiting.
Florida is the better job. Florida is higher profile. Lane's got to decide if he wants that. He's got to decide if he wants it. Do you want the better step up? Do you want the better recruiting ground? Do you want more pressure while also knowing that you might be fired if it doesn't work out? That's the decision Lane Kiffin has to make. Because, yes, Florida's the better job than Ole Miss. But I still think Ole Miss has enough resources to win a national title without the pressure to do so. Let's go to the phones. Will is up next. What's up, Will?
What's up, Will?
Hey, guys. I was just going back to what you all were talking about with the balls earlier. You guys just hit the nail on the head. It's penalties. It's not playing complimentary football. It's like, hey, you look at the stats as teams against us versus Alabama, and you're like, man, how did we lose that game? It's like, against Ohio State last year, I was upset that we lost, but that's just a team who was more talented who just beat us. But it's like every single game now, I feel like when we lose, I'm mad just because you look at the team stats, you're like, how did we lose that? But then it's like you see penalties. You just see the same old thing over and over. And, Ramon, you said it, like, it's year 5 now. We should still be trying to figure these things out.
Right.
Agreed. Thank you, Will.
Appreciate it, Will.
Appreciate the call. It's a good point.
That's the biggest conversation from this past weekend on that one.
Self-inflicted errors.
Like, I always ask for A players to show up in big-time games. Coaches got to also bring their A game, too. They have to.
Yep. Let's go to Tucker in Hermitage. What's up, Tucker? Good morning.
Well, guys, Will, I had a question for you as your local Vanderbilt fan. I know earlier in the show, maybe about a month ago, you said that you would wear a Vanderbilt jersey all for 1 week
in July.
Vanderbilt made the college football playoffs. Are you still holding up with that promise, or what's your worry meter on that? What's the status on that?
I'm a man of my word, Tucker. Yep, I am. Did he hang up?
He said it before the show. I laughed. I was like, what are you talking about? We'll remember the bet before I did.
Yeah, no, I'm a man of my word. Sure.
Ooh. Next, Vanderbilt has to get to this point. Sustainability of this.
Yeah, they've got to handle success.
I'm talking about for the duration of it.
Vanderbilt has to handle success.
I'm talking about next year and the year after.
Yeah, they've reset their expectations as a program.
It's totally different now.
Because at this point, Clark Lee has built a program at Vanderbilt more so than James Franklin ever did.
Absolutely.
He has built sustainable success in a better SEC than James Franklin did. James Franklin benefited from down Florida, down Georgia, down Tennessee. The SEC has gotten better, and so has Vanderbilt with it. Do not underestimate how big of a deal that is.
I wonder if that fan base is upset about NIL and portal.
Not anymore.
Just the thought process of how you get to this point. There's a lot of teams that are benefiting from this era of football. And Vandy is a direct result of that.
Yeah.
So I want my old college football back. Y'all need to shove that.
To Tucker's question, if you're asking me today, do I think Vanderbilt is making the college football playoff? Yeah, I do. As of today, based on what we know, I think they're going to do it. We'll see if they can deliver. 615-737-1045 is our number. 4th and final hour of the program. Biggest positives and negatives from Titans Pats. What was your biggest takeaway from week 7 of the NFL season? We'll give you ours next.
9:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall to 1-6 on the year after a 31-13 loss to the Patriots at Nissan Stadium Sunday, turning the ball over twice and giving up 5 sacks on the day. Quarterback Cam Ward, 25-34 for 255 yards, passing a touchdown, interception, and a fumble that led to a scoop and score for the Patriots. Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons and cornerback L'Jarius Sneed both left the game early and did not return. Mike McCoy will meet with the media coming up later today. Over the weekend in college football, Tennessee falls to Alabama 37-20 in the third Saturday of October matchup in Tuscaloosa, and they drop to number 17 in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt with an impressive 31-24 win over LSU in Nashville Saturday. They move up to number 10 in the AP poll ahead of their weekend matchup with number 15 Missouri in Nashville, where College Game Day will be in town for just the second time ever in school history. And Florida, they have fired head coach Billy Napier, announced yesterday. Despite their win over Mississippi State on Saturday, Florida goes 3-4 this season and 22-23 overall in the 4 seasons with Napier. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go to hour number 4 of Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. 615-737-1045. How you jump in. He is Ramon Foster, the 11-year NFL veteran. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins, our producer. Coming up, your biggest positives and negatives out of Titans Patriots. Titans fall to 1-6, 31-13. New England over Tennessee yesterday. Mike Vrabel's homecoming did not go the way you wanted. We'll talk about what was the good and bad coming out of this, and we'll unfortunately spend a lot more time on the bad than the good. Week 7 of the NFL season wraps up tonight. Ramon, before the final 2 Monday night games, looking around the league, what's your biggest takeaway, the biggest thing that stood out to you of the football we had yesterday?
The veteran quarterbacks are showing up. That I'm looking at Stafford with the Rams and how they're playing.
Boy, Jacksonville was awful in Wembley. As bad as the field looked.
That's a home game for them, which is even crazier to talk about, man. I think that part of the NFL is showing more than almost anything. If you got to settle veteran quarterback, your ability to cook and work is at the top of his game. And the bad teams are worse than you thought they could have been. I'm talking about you, Miami. I'm talking about you, New York Jets. I'm talking about a lot of teams right now that have question marks at the quarterback position that you somewhat say to yourself, what is this level of play? Why is there such a difference in the good versus the bad in the league right now? The veteran guys are showing up, and I know I'll probably always get pushed back for this, but Nathaniel Jones is a damn stud.
As the first member of the Daniel Jones train for the Tennessee Titans, you've got to feel good about the way this has gone.
And maybe, see, here's the other part of it, though, too. The marriage of a coordinator and a quarterback means a lot. That is where I will say, for the Cam Ward conversation, there's time to figure out that marriage. It's going to be a pairing that has to be made next year.
Head coach and quarterback, right?
It has to happen. Daniel Jones is a real good sign of that. I'll throw Jackson Dart as a real good sign of that. I'll throw quarterback from the Broncos. Bo
Nix.
Bo Nix is in that conversation. Dak Prescott.
Playing well.
He's the reason why Jerry Jones can breathe a little bit and stop having so many gray hairs right now.
Colts are also my biggest takeaway, to be honest with you. That offense gets guys open more so than maybe any other scheme in the NFL right now, Ramon.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think you are hoping to get whatever the Colts got in Shane Steichen with Daniel Jones. Because, my goodness, whether it's Tyler Warren in the flat, it's Michael Pittman on the intermediate routes, or their deep threat Alec Pierce, Indianapolis is getting guys wide open for their quarterback, and there are a lot of quarterbacks that would have a lot of success within that system right now. I think the thing is that Anthony Richardson is so bad that we didn't really get to see how good of a coach and play caller Shane Steichen is until he just got like a little bit of a high floor quarterback. Because Daniel Jones is not a guy with a crazy ceiling. He's not doing insane physical stuff that makes you just go, wow. But his accuracy and consistency in that offense, where he is being set up to succeed behind a solid offensive line with good targets and a play caller that schemes guys wide open. You're right. I mean, I think some of us were waiting on the Colts to slow down and turn back into a pumpkin again. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Colts are totally legit, and 38-24 over the Chargers yesterday. You got a big challenge in them again this weekend in their building.
And that close, 38-24, wasn't close.
No, it wasn't really that close.
It wasn't that close at all. I will also add, if Jeff ain't playing, problematic.
Yep.
If Tavondre don't get started in the first half, like he did in the second half for the Tennessee Titans defense, problematic. Jonathan Aloysius Taylor. That ain't his middle name. I'm just throwing. Jonathan Aloysius Taylor is the best back in the NFL right now?
It's a good question. I mean, if you're saying just this season in a vacuum.
Just this season.
Yes. Him and Bijan Robinson.
Him and Bijan Robinson. Yeah. And I put Jonathan Taylor one as
if you're saying who I think the best back is total, it's still either Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry. But I think it's those guys and him.
Most productive Taylor. One game to game, Jonathan Taylor right now.
Right now, yes, this season,
most
100%.
Productive.
He has more 3+ rushing touchdown games in 2025 than the rest of the NFL combined from him.
And this Memphis Bop touchdown dance he got going is cold, too. He's
10 rushing TDs over his last 5 games. The last player with 10+ over a 5-game span, also Jonathan Taylor in 2021.
JT is cold, man. Watching him is fun. Can't even lie.
Watching the way Indy has done this does give me a little bit of hope that the Titans can find their Shane Steichen and maybe replicate some of this because it's RPOs, it's fun, it's spread, it's scheming guys really open.
Yeah, man.
Now, you got to go get those weapons. You got to go find your Michael Pittman. You got to go find your Alec Pierce and Josh Downs and Tyler Warren. And the cupboard is far from empty. And they've got line play as well that's been consistent over the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's really impressive. It's really impressive what they've done. You got to give credit where credit's due.
And it's a tall task for a defense that seems to be on its back foot right now with this Tennessee Titans makeup that it is. You had a non-running team and the New England Patriots that just kind of shoved it down your throat this past weekend.
Yep.
I'm going to be fascinated to see what the response to that is going to be.
Yep. So there was a breaking story on Saturday that surprised a lot of people, and we have an update on that story. Tony Vitello, according to Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic on Saturday afternoon, was closing in on a deal to be the new manager of the San Francisco Giants of Major League Baseball. It'll be the first time that somebody with no MLB experience would go straight from college to the big leagues. And Buster Posey, the president of all things baseball in San Francisco, has clearly made Tony his guy. Well, 48 hours have passed since then, and there is still no finality to this deal, which, in my opinion, this is my editorialized part of this, is a good sign for Tennessee. Pete Nakos of On3 has just written in the last 10 minutes just that, saying sources on Saturday told On3 Vitello was set to decide on the Giants' job in the next 24 to 72 hours. Now the clock is ticking, coming up on the 48-hour mark. Sources have told On3 that the Vols have a practice scheduled for noon Eastern, but no official team meeting has been called yet. That is the update today. Tennessee baseball will have a practice at 11 a.m. Central. There has been no official team meeting called. Ramon, I feel like as this situation progresses and goes longer and longer, the chances of Tony Vitello returning as the baseball coach at Tennessee increase.
I think there's something there. Here's the issue that Tennessee has when it comes down to this decision for Tony Vitello. A pay increase has to happen, probably for him and his staff. The fascinating part about recruiting support is always going to be there, But on the other side of it is this. Tony Vitello can always come back to college. That's the worst part of this situation.
You can always go back to college, but are you always going to have the opportunity to go up to the majors?
Yep.
This might be a once-in-a-career opportunity.
And this isn't this ain't the Kansas City Royals.
No, this is a winning franchise with a guy that he has a really good relationship with, reportedly in Buster Posey,
exactly,
who would be building his roster.
And the other part of this conversation is when it boils down to what baseball may have in front of itself, the MLB side of it, a cap, even rosters.
It's really hard to build rosters in college baseball the way he has his whole career.
But my point of it is this. If MLB put a cap on super team, your Dodgers, your Yankees, your Mets, whoever else is in that conversation.
Sure, I see what you mean.
It has to come back to coaching and managing guys. Is what college baseball going to extend up to the MLB? Meaning, your roster is built off a type. Your roster's built off of your Becks, right? Your roster's built off of this brass style of playing baseball to where I feel like MLB ascends up, right? The trends. We watch college baseball be super nasty and just break the traditional stuff. Is that what the San Francisco Giants are trying to plan for? To where if we're not going to spend money or everybody's money's like the same, I can't just have a stoic manager that can't get the guys going or our attitudes. That's just me looking at, I guess, the psychology of what they're looking for. Because if we can't separate ourselves to where we want to go spend money, well, how do we get the best out of our group the same way that we watch Milwaukee Brewers do? Is it the manager that's going to get guys to play better?
I'm really fascinated by the fit of Tony Vitello as a Major League Baseball manager because he has no experience managing 162 games. Ramon, he is so emotional and so high or low. Can you sustain that for 162 games? I don't know. I think it's an odd fit because, quite honestly, Ramon, I don't think that in-game management and when to take pitchers in and out or game planning, I don't think that's Tony Vitello's strength. I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing at a Vol that sent me, hey, chill out on the Royals. Hey,
I think that on paper, Tony Vitello is not the kind of manager that really has a ton of success in Major League Baseball. However, I will never doubt Tony Vitello.
Yeah.
Ever. As hard of a worker as he is, as much of a people person as he is, as good of a culture guy as he is, as well as he can build a locker room, I will never doubt his ability to win because he's done it everywhere that he has gone as a coach.
Now, twofold in this situation. San Francisco Giants can see how the public react to a college coach coming over. Tony Vitello, also in a situation, see if Tennessee going to take the bait and pay.
See what can you get in return?
There's a stadium being renovated.
Yeah.
Mostly because of him.
Can you get more to help build that roster?
Now, the questions that you have to ask is, who's going to step in and give Tony $4 million as a salary? The distribution of money to build a roster?
I think it's more that part. I think it's more what he could build around everything versus how much he's
and
getting.
His assistant coaches.
Yeah, he's making $3 million annually right now. Already.
This is
second highest in college baseball.
So yeah, how is that going to look? I don't know.
The fact that it's already gotten this far and it's taken this long gives me optimism that Tony Vitello is not going to San Francisco, that he's going to come back. I think if he was going to go to San Fran, it would have already happened. How often do you see? I mean, there's still a chance, obviously, but how often do you see the Rosenthal report come out and then it's announced 30 minutes later to say closing in on blank? And then it happens. But there's a reason why it hasn't happened yet.
It was that part of it, too, of who wrote it.
Ken Rosenthal?
Yes.
No, it's very much real. I mean, I'd heard about the interest a couple weeks ago.
It wasn't even on my radar.
I'd heard about this a little bit, and it felt like there was definitely mutual interest. I didn't think anything would come of it because I still thought it was such a risky hire for San Fran that they wouldn't want to do it. But with the state of college athletics and how hard it is to coach and build a roster, I understand Tony looking at a once-in-a-lifetime potentially opportunity to work with a really good organization and taking it seriously. We'll see. Boy, what a gut punch that was, though, right before the third Saturday in October for Tennessee fans. It was not a good weekend for Tennessee fans.
It was
not in any stretch of the imagination. Coming up, back to Titans talk. We will update that story if there is anything to update over the final 45 minutes. I don't foresee that happening, especially since it looks like Tennessee has a practice at 11. So we'll see. But coming up, what is your biggest positive? What's your biggest negative at a Titans Patriots? We'll dive into that next. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooter's Coffee, 615-737-1045, talking Titans this morning. What is your biggest positive and biggest negative out of Titans and Patriots? Ramon Foster, let's start with the good. What happened that you liked? What was the biggest positive out of yesterday?
You saw some consistency of a competent offense while pressing the New England Patriots. You saw what it could look like, and then it ran out. Like watching Cam roll out of the pocket, throw across the field, watching his wide receivers make plays for him. It was long crossing routes, right? And max protection is how you got to that point. That was good. That's what I'll give you.
Titans entered the week with 3 scoring drives in the first quarter all season. They had 2 against New England. That's got to be the positive. You finally started fast. Mike McCoy said it after the game. That has to be where you begin. Chimere Dike's 70 receiving yards in the first quarter were the most by a Titans rookie in the first quarter of a game since Justin McCarron's had 70 in 2001 in a game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the involvement of DK in the offense was a positive early.
Yeah.
I think the other positive you take is that Cedric Gray is the story of the defense. When you go, obviously after Jeffrey Simmons, maybe not the story of the defense, but Cedric Gray is playing really good football. 50 tackles now in his last 4 games. Really solid. The way that he played against yesterday, 10 more tackles for him. I think he is taking the step forward that you hoped more young players would take. Cedric Gray is the model of what you want more football players to start doing as this season goes, in young guys who are getting on-the-job experience, learning on the job, and getting better at that job. Yeah. So I think those are the positives. Justin, you got one?
Yeah, I like Devondre Sweat in this one. In his nice return, he had 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, a sack. I thought he made a good impact without Jeffrey Simmons when he went out. What else can you ask for when you haven't played in for about 5 weeks?
More run stopping is what I asked.
More in the first half.
Yeah,
but he still made an impact.
He's better in the second half for sure. But I thought his first half he looked rusty.
Hawk, you say that, but in the first half, Ramondre Stevenson absolutely rolled over this Titans defense with him and Jeff in. Like, I'm with you. He backed it up in the second half. But Ramondre Stevenson averages 4.9 a carry. He had Drake May escapability in this portion of the game, too. Like, they opened up this game, the Patriots did, and said, take this to the face. And here's another one to the ribs. And then we're going to march all the way down for a field goal. True, you stopped it. But for a guy like Devondre coming back with that much rest, and I know you got to get in shape, that's inexcusable when that's not their game.
I get it. He had 1 sack all of last season.
Maybe I'm a little bit harder than on this situation than I should be, but yeah.
I get it. I think sometimes a little bit more positive outweighed the negative in this one.
Sure.
I'll ride with that.
Fair.
I'll ride with that. There's got to be balance in this conversation. Has to be.
What is the biggest negative out of Titans versus Patriots?
Cam's football protection. Throwing it and fumbles. Those 2 things. I brought this up earlier when we were looking at him coming out of the draft, right? He holds the football low. I'm wondering that causing the football to slip out of his hands. And then when he had to go to the second half and got to have it moments. The sling it side of his passing, the overthrows, the underthrows, and behind the wide receiver throws. All right, we got to be able to be fair about his play as people that watch him play football too.
Yeah. His inability to grip the football and just drop it is becoming a problem. Cam Ward leads the NFL with 5 fumbles. He had 3 all of last season at Miami. In college, he had 13. It's worrying. It's worrying because it feels like the interceptions are more fixable and the fumbles are more of just kind of who he is because he's kind of always done this. So, yeah, I agree. I think Cam's turnover problems are a big concern at this point. I just think the overall protection and the pocket and the fact that this is your best 5 on the offensive line and for a second straight game they didn't play well enough, I think is really concerning for this offense. I agree with Zach Lyons' take that he put on Twitter this morning saying that Looking back at it, when the O-line and Cam were good, things were good. There was a lot of good on film from both Cam Ward and the offensive line.
Yeah.
But when they were bad, they were really bad.
Yes, they were.
And that's where the gap between the ceiling and the floor of this football team is still wide enough to not have a lot of sustained success against defenses. At their best, they're pretty solid. They can move the ball. They can have some success. But the floor has got to be raised, Ramon. It just does. Because when things get bad and mistakes happen, they're like catastrophic mistakes.
Oh.
They are like easily resulting in 6 points for the other team. And this team just cannot be predictable and good on offense. They cannot get behind and get a big deficit in the second half and expect to have very much success unless the game is kind of given to them the way it was in Arizona.
No doubt.
This team cannot be talking about running the football that much, and you only have 12 carries in a whole game. Establishing the run is not a thing that this Titans team is doing. The other thing that's also the negative is what Ramon was touching on. Cam reminds me of Brucey from The Longest Yard, eating popcorn at halftime, and now he's dropping the ball. Is it time to have the conversation that he needs to start wearing a glove on that right hand?
No, I don't think you can do
Because
glove,
2 games in a row that he's dropped the ball by himself, self-inflicted, you can't do that.
No.
If you're having a solid game like he did yesterday, you can't have a negative in there just dropping the football because you're rearing back to throw.
It's true.
It's unacceptable.
What are your biggest positives and negatives out of Titans and Patriots? 615-737-1045 is our number. We go to Jay in Spring Hill next.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, so my positive of the day was probably the sense of urgency early. It seemed like Cam had the harness just lifted from him. He looked looser. He just seemed so tight leading up to this game. Callahan just seemed to plant the seed that, if the first read or second read isn't there, get rid of it. But the first quarter was awesome. I got to meet Robert Kraft, which was another positive experience. But the negative, I guess, is just the lack of urgency. Once we got behind, second quarter going on, it was just flat. So anyway, I was excited the first quarter. I was like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. And then it just, we hit rock bottom again. So anyway, we're still going, win or lose, to see the games. We want to see it evolve. Just need more wins. It's an expensive day at a Titans game now.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate the call.
There's one thing that somewhat remained the same over the years of us covering this team, though, Will, on the radio, is first half usually jumps out. Second half has been a dud, I feel like, for the last, 4 years.
That is emblematic of a team that has pretty much one pathway to winning. Run the ball, turn it over, get off the field on third downs, on defense. And then when you get a deficit, there is no other pathway to being successful. They are not good enough on the offensive line to be predictable and good.
No.
When they get in third and long and obvious passing situations, when the defense can telegraph, when you're telegraphing what you're doing, and the defense knows what to be prepared for, they don't have the athletes yet, as where we are in this rebuild, to just beat defenses one-on-one.
Yeah. And that
football can be very simple.
And now, again, we're going to reiterate. There's no time for draft talk. There's no time for free agency talk. Yet. You got to look at what you're faced with. Another positive is Alec also seems like to be a guy, right? I know Chimray had the better day yesterday, but Alec's ability, Alec Ayumaner's ability to be a playmaker is going to be significant for this team. Now, here's the other side of it for the duration of this year. We're talking about a 4th-round talent with a rookie quarterback. We're not watching Matthew Stafford build up Puka Nacua here, right? Puka Nacua, similar situation. I didn't know who he was until you saw a veteran Hall of Fame quarterback build him up in a way that now he's an NFL poster boy. That is the part of this game to where I will look at the quarterbacks and say a little bit who are you also making better? We don't know who makes who better when it comes down to wide receiver. You mentioned Drake May had his wide receivers make plays. The Austin Hooper touchdown, magnificent catch.
Great catch, yeah.
Then it was better throw. The 4th down conversion that he had to was Ramondre Stevens. Yes.
Ramondre Stevens had a one-handed catch on a pass that was behind him.
Behind him. He's making those types of plays. We're watching Stephon Diggs continue on and be a threat offensively too. So who's going to make who? But I look at their relationships and figure out in the second half, none of those guys showed up for Cam.
Well, and to that point, Cam Ward has a pass behind Chikakonkwo. It goes off his hands and is intercepted. Drake May has a pass behind Ramondre Stevenson. It's a one-handed catch for first and goal, and they go score.
We don't know the velocity of those footballs. But Cam's came out fast.
That's fair.
Drake Mays came out catchable.
But the result is what it is.
The result,
yes, that's
you're
what
right.
happened.
You're right.
That's what happened. Let's hear from Cam Ward. Asked yesterday about why he has made the same fumble mistake 2 games in a row.
Got to hold on to it tighter, but really just got to continue to emphasize it within myself. Got to be better at it. I know that's something that, I can't continue to let happen. I got to cut that out next week.
Do you feel like you guys lose urgency at any point? You said that the first quarter of the success is from the urgency.
No, we don't lose urgency. It's just we have to continue to stack plays. And there's just, whether it's a false start and even towards the end of half, I should have checked the ball down, ended up stopping the clock again. We had to just, waste the play on what we didn't have to. It's just all of us have to continue to do our job every play. And when we do that, we can be a good offense.
Did you get a chance to push it all to go to try to score a field goal before halftime? Or is there no chance for you to kind of participate?
That's the goal, to get points. We had enough time. We had 3 timeouts. But when I don't take the completion right there like I need to, it puts the coaches, in the offense, in a bad situation. So that's how it ended up happening. I just got to be better. We got to be better as a whole. And then at the end of the day, we got to, win games. We have to start next week by winning the football game.
Titans quarterback Cam Ward speaking post-game yesterday.
He owned the fumble part of it, too.
Yeah. He always takes accountability. I'll give him that.
His decision-making, as he said, got to be a little bit better. This is what he was able to do at Washington State and Miami, was play hero ball. And the NFL is somewhat surviving it, right? Like, you can't play hero ball when you don't understand the entirety of the offense or what defenses are presenting you. Maybe that wide open concept that you're seeing is there for a reason.
That's some of the challenges. This is not the Pac-2 anymore.
No, absolutely not. You can't play backyard football with little brother him over there in the Pac-2 and feel like that you can do this in the NFL. It's a little bit different here.
And or the ACC even, because he was on the better football team in every single game he ever played at Miami. His team was better every single time he played for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep.
There is not a single team roster that he played last season that was better than his. None.
Yeah.
Even at the pass stops he had, that was true at Miami too.
Yep. I saw somebody, I had to go do the research myself. I hate to say this out there, but did he have any big-time ranked wins at Miami? That's the other part of it, too. Like, I know he was challenging. ACC has some components of a good competitive team and schedule, but Miami had a super roster.
The best win they would have had would be at Louisville, 52-45. He was 21 of 32 for 319 and 4 touchdowns.
Was Louisville ranked? I don't think so.
If they weren't, they were right on the border of it. I'd have to go back and look.
And no biggie.
But at the very least, that was still a good Louisville team. I mean, it wasn't great.
We look at quality of wins.
Looking at ranked, no, they were not ranked. Louisville was unranked. They went at 4-3 after that game. Miami was ranked 6th in the country.
And y'all ain't nothing either out there generating AI pictures with Cam with small hands, too.
The AI stuff.
I saw y'all on social media.
There is nothing on the internet that is more unfunny than AI.
I synced y'all.
Fake videos. I don't understand why the internet needs that. But anyway, separate conversation. Steve is up next on the phones. Hey, Steve.
What's up, Steve? Paging Steve.
Steve, what's up? And Steve loses his chance.
Steve,
Dominique.
What's up, Dom?
Dominic is next. What's up?
What's up, y'all, man? I just got to say a couple things, man. Cam Ward ain't it for me, man. And another thing, he talking about gripping the ball tighter. He going to fumble more if he grip the ball tighter in the winter when it gets inclement weather. But that's all I got to say, man.
No doubt.
All right, thank you, Dominic.
Dominic with one of the rare calls of saying it wasn't it for him.
I think we've had a decent amount of that today.
Yeah, the one guy that called and made that little joke about dropping the football.
Or saying that he's going to be an edge rusher.
Be an edge rusher because, I get the ball out of his hand. What's wrong with y'all?
Remember when people would call in and say, move Caleb Farley to receiver? Those were good times.
I don't remember.
Not. Let's go to Ernie in Columbia up next. What's up, Ernie?
Ernie.
Good morning.
Morning.
Positive that for the optic of it, there appeared to be more New England fans than there were Titans fans at the game yesterday. That this has got to be a breaking point going into the new stadium. If I was, it just, I hope nobody buys any tickets after this dumpster fire that she's putting out there. And the negative is we still haven't heard from Amy, unless I missed something throughout this.
Yeah, Ernie, I don't think she gonna say anything.
Thank you, Ernie.
I like that's the point of Miss Amy. I saw it may have been our teammate Buck Rising saying that she walked right past Vrabel. I mean, it's been reported their relationship wasn't good.
Correct.
And business is just how it goes sometimes. They're cutthroat. I didn't expect a, hey, glad to have you. Thanks for kicking our butts type of situation.
I saw Easton Freeze yesterday say that he unfortunately taught Buck how to mute a conversation on Twitter.
Yeah.
Easton, what the heck, man? What the heck? Why are you giving this guy more freedom to just shoot from the hip and fire off takes that now he can't be held responsible for? What the heck, dude? What are we doing? I'm saying this jokingly. I did tweet this at Easton yesterday. Buck now has the ability to mute a conversation when he says outlandish things and gaslights you into thinking that he didn't want Cam. During the NFL draft, well, we all have receipts of Buck Rising saying the exact words, Cam Ward or we riot, or Cam Ward or bust. But Buck may try to lead you to believe he never wanted Cam coming up.
That was
in
literally
minutes.
like 30 seconds after Easton posted that.
Yeah, that's right.
It was targeted.
We'll get to Josh in Nashville coming up next. Final call for phone calls when we come back at 104.5 The Zone.
Did you know that up to 50% of the air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space? Have you ever looked in your crawl space? I get it. Most of us don't even want to know what's in there. But moisture in your crawl space can create unhealthy issues that can make their way into the air you breathe every day in your home. I'm Ramon Falston. This is where United Structural Systems can help you out. USS has been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee since 1994, so you know they aren't going anywhere. Help control moisture and musty smells with mold treatment and crawl space encapsulation that comes with the USS guarantee. Encapsulation helps reduce high humidity in your crawl space. It also helps deter mold and mildew and protects your crawl space from pests and wood rot. Turn your crawl space into a healthy space. Reach out to the company I trust for all foundation repair and waterproofing needs, man. That's United Structural Systems. You can go to our website at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the show on this Monday. Buck Rising up next. Cover 2 with Blaine and Zach, and 3 HL on a Reaction Monday. Ton to get to, and it's going to take all 12 hours of live and local programming here in the Zone. 13 hours, including Titans Radio. Monday Night Titans, 6 to 7 p.m. tonight. You'll hear from me on that as well, briefly at the end of the program as always. As we go back to the phones to wrap up the show, and Josh in Nashville is next.
Morning, Josh.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Just trying to wrap my head around, maybe you can help me understand a little bit more, but as I'm watching the game yesterday, right there before half, Titans have the ball, I think, on the 40-yard line with 49 seconds, 3 timeouts, with a chance to put points on the board, and it just kind of looks like they kind of threw their hands up. I was hoping you guys could maybe help me understand that a little bit. I'll shut up and hang up and listen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Josh. Mike McCoy explained it after the game and said the wind played a big role, and that going in that direction towards the north end zone, it was always going to be difficult to make a kick as long as you normally would, considering how much the wind was blowing in your face. And they didn't want to take a risk and try to go for it and use their timeouts and then set up New England to kick a long field goal, because they would have had the wind at their backs and would have been able to make a longer field goal.
Remember, he said his philosophy's changed on what the game presents to him. Wind presented a problem for him, so he chose not to. That's the way I look at it. Like, he's got a method, and that's understanding and feeling the game, whether you like that or not. And at that point, what was it? 17-13, the game went out of reach. You expected the same offensive explosion or consistency you had in the first half to remain the same, and it didn't.
I wonder if Joey Slye didn't have the calf injury, if maybe that changes the thinking there. I don't know that. I'm just speculating. It didn't seem like Joey had the same power. Like, I don't think he was 100% to be able to put the full oomph behind it into the wind.
Yeah.
Than maybe he would pre-injury, pre-Arizona, but I don't know that. I think that has to be in the back of your mind, and that Bones, the special teams coach, is talking to Mike McCoy saying, like, yeah, I think we can or can't do this. I don't know. Would I've liked to see them take a timeout and try more? Yeah, but that was their reasoning.
But it's you got to be, I guess, somewhat level-headed in those type of decisions, too, because if we can say you're going to run the football in a rain game, you also got to be cautious about kicking the football and missing it and giving a team like New England Patriots an opportunity to get a DPI down the field because they get the football back, et cetera, et cetera. So
at that point, it was kind of a defense and special teams game, or a defense and field position game, considering how well your defense had played outside of one throw to Kayshon Boutte. And then your defense was unable to sustain that in the second half. I think if you'd known that New England was going to have the success it did offensively in the second half, maybe you do take more of a chance there to try to chase it a little bit. But that was the reasoning. I would have liked to see them be a bit more aggressive there, too.
You didn't tell me about the Boutte comments?
Yeah, so Kayshon Boutte, after the game, said to reporters, "We took advantage of lazy cornerback play, lazy safety play, and just a big play," on his 39-yard catch from Drake May at the end of the first half. Lazy cornerback play, lazy safety play, he says.
Lazy. Technique, I'm guessing, looks bad. Sense of urgency looks bad. And on top of that, too, I just saw there was a kick out of bounds that put them at the 40.
Yeah, gave him short field to be able to take shots.
And if you look at that play, he absolutely raced by L'Jarius Sneed at that point.
He did. Yeah.
Lazy. That is that's the entirety of what it is. Even if the coaches aren't, either noticing it or coaching it. That's other than Jeff, like and Cedric, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are your only Cedric Gray. Those are the only two ones I feel like you can count on. Because everybody else has just become a ghost at this point.
It's fair.
Lazy.
It's fair. It has been Jeffrey Simmons, Cedric Gray, and who on defense so far this year?
And
who played the best.
Looking at this play specifically, it's on right now on my iPad. He cruised right up to L'Jarius and burst right past him because he probably thought something else was coming.
Let's try Steve one more time on the way out here. Steve, you there?
Thank you, sir. A couple of questions. Number one, what y'all was just talking about, the fear of them getting more points. What's your record right now? What was it coming in? You're cowards. You have to go for it. You do things they don't expect. Why is it Restrepo? Why are they not trying to use him to give Cam something familiar that he knows he can throw to anywhere? And number two, they probably ought to take this team out here at Vanderbilt and make them stand back and watch how they prepare.
Yeah.
Because they're not preparing.
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Restrepo making his chance. I'd love to see Xavier Restrepo get a chance because what do you got to lose at this point? But I don't think he's just going to be. It's not just going to fix everything. Xavier Restrepo, unfortunately, does not have the speed and top-end athleticism to separate. And that's the problem that Titans receivers have right now is they are not separating quickly enough to give the line time to block for Cam to find them. So I don't think Restrepo is just a one-size-fits-all there. They put in Mason Kinsey as their game day elevation instead of Restrepo.
Lazy.
I don't think they're lazy.
I know, but like somebody else said it.
They're very good. The Buck Rising Show is coming up next. Cover 2, 3HL. Good day to be locked in. As always, a lot of football to recap. College, NFL, maybe whatever Tony Vitello decides to do today. We will see. We will talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning.
And remember, at all times, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.